Hey everybody, welcome back to We Need to Go Deeper. I am your host, Alpaca Patrol, for this week anyway. This is the most Final Boss podcast that the internet ever did see.
That's Final Boss as shit, yo.
It's mad Final Boss. It's maybe the most Final Boss. Anyway, I'm here with Austin.
Hello.
From Last Grey Wife. I am also here with Zen.
Hello!
From Zen and Cyrene, and also Cam.
Smash,
From Who
smash.
Cares? Really? Nobody never really cares
That's
about
hello
Cam.
and
Why am I always last, by the way?
Well, he was actually born from two breasts. The doctor stuck his hand in between the breasts and pulled him out. He was just there.
Yeah, from
Weird.
two separate breasts. I was actually, They pulled out half of me.
Yeah,
Talk about Cam's chest wound. Or
they had to
Cam's
surgically
mother's
move them
chest
together.
wound.
It was a very intense. It cost a lot of money. Anyway,
It was a pretty rough situation. I want to mention before we start this that Green was not able to make it to this podcast, which will happen with members of us throughout the times in which we will be doing this podcast, which is unfortunate. But Green is not here this week, sadly. So actually, I don't know where this video is going to go up, whether it's going to go on Green's channel or not, because if you're watching this on Green's channel,
you people in
he's
the
not here.
future, you already know. It's weird. It's like
you're future people.
Time travel. It's not time travel.
To future me, you're past people. Think about that.
So should I be buying Apple?
Oh, yeah. Actually, no. Did you see the trailer for the new Jobs movie with Ashton Kutcher? You should not be buying
You
Apple.
mean Ashton Kutcher as Ashton Kutcher?
No, as Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Whoa.
welcome-
That one whooshed. That one whooshed.
Yeah,
Cam.
I missed it. I totally missed
You're
it.
just you're two next level. You're two final boss.
Yeah, wait.
Austin,
Yeah.
I think, is what happened. Yep.
Yeah. By the way, I just
Yep.
want to send a message to Future Cam when I'm listening to this. Future Cam, you better live on a gold planet by now, or I will fucking stab you. It's
I
past
can
me.
see like 2
Well,
days
it's
from
good
now
that you
Cameron
didn't
watching
specify.
this and being like, oh.
How
Yeah.
does that even work? How is
No.
past Cam going to stab future Cam?
Well, yeah, no, the thing is, if I ever do watch this, then I will probably be saying, "Oh God, don't stab me!" Because I will never live on a gold planet. And I have a time
will
machine.
you have?
Wow, way to be a downer.
So I don't quite understand. So is the future Cam in the future going to be taking the knife in honor of past Cam?
Probably trying to figure
Actually,
out
no. Baby Cam is gonna fly in and take the knife for all of us. So.
Wait, is it like half one of Baby Cam or half two? Like,
No, it'll
'Cause-
be the third half that never lived because he took a knife.
Wow.
that one.
Yeah, I
Now
was
we're getting
1 and a
into
half when I was born.
It's paradoxal.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a word.
Paradoxal.
Or is it, Rob?
That's some.
I'm getting word from upstairs that that's actually not a word. Okay, no, not a word. I got it. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
From
Good.
upstairs.
All right. Well, anyway, we should talk about video games and stop talking about paradoxalism, because that's way too far into the realm of science.
Way too meta.
Yeah, too much meta is going on right now. So, why don't I just go round robin and ask what you guys have been playing this week? I'll
Getting
start
married?
backwards, so I'll start with Cam.
Oh, I finally get to go first. All right, I have a few games that I've been playing.
Just kidding, Cam. You're not going first.
Oh.
Okay, Rob, you're first.
Okay, but I guess the most exciting of all the games that I've played is probably Portal 2 with Rob. We've been doing some co-op, and it was a lot of fun. Basically, I've never played the co-op. Rob hasn't played the single player either, have you, Rob?
No, I have not. I've seen
wow.
some of it, but I haven't played all through of Portal 2.
Yeah. So it's a lot. I mean, I've never played the co-op, so it's a learning experience for me as well, because it's a lot harder, with 4 portals. But I think I've been told that the co-op is actually a really sweet-ass experience. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. We only really got through, 2 chambers, Rob?
Yeah. Well, which is still like half the game, but it's,
Yeah, I think there's a lot more. I don't know. People have said that it's going to be a really long series based on what they've seen. So
could be. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
looking forward
I
to
watched.
that.
I watched about I don't know. I skipped around and watched about 10 minutes of you guys are gonna have a lot of fun because the
Does it
puzzles,
get intense? I'm not
especially
surprised.
the last set of puzzles, they're just they don't make sense. I don't even think I solved the last puzzle of that game correctly. I mean, I seriously don't think I did. I think I cheated it and didn't actually find the solution.
Wow, that's terrifying because I think we did the same thing with one of the earlier puzzles.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just solve puzzles by blowing ourselves up repeatedly until we figure it out, which is not the way you're supposed to solve it. Yeah.
I'm more scared when I see Cam solve a puzzle and not Rob. That's when I know something's terribly wrong.
It's kind of strange because right now I'm at a point where I know more about the game than Rob does. And so I find myself like teaching Rob things, which is a weird like juxtapose on our channels.
Juxtaposal?
It juxtaposes our
juxtapose, actually, it's French.
Juxtapose.
No, you guys, I mean, it's just a game taking pity on you. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Well, I mean, the second chamber took 2 episodes, so I mean, if that trend is to continue, then later chambers should take even more. I would imagine, anyway.
I'm excited to do some more of that, which we should do soon, Rob, like tomorrow. Anyway, another
we definitely do.
Another game that I tried out this week for the first time, or maybe I tried it out last week, but I didn't talk about it, is PlanetSide 2. Now, that is a free-to-play game, obviously. And it basically has these massive servers of like hundreds of people. And I don't think, has anyone else here tried that? Tried it out yet?
I have not been able to. It looks a little much for me. There's a lot going on at once.
The big downside I found out at least is that you basically need a lot of friends to play with you. Otherwise, you're totally boned. You're totally boned.
Oh, good.
Yeah, exactly. We have no friends. None of us here have any
Let me just
friends.
go get my 20 friends, but they're over there in the other room.
Yeah.
They're actually like 2.5 boxes of pizza.
I mean, even playing with like the 5 of us would be a lot better than just playing alone, because the whole game is based around like you build something and somebody else builds something else that's useful after. Like you'll build like a massive transport vehicle that creates a spawn point somewhere, and then all of your teammates can spawn there, and you have squads and all this. And then somebody else will buy like a tank or, a helicopter or something. And the whole game is about sticking together because you basically get ganked by 20 people at a time a lot of the time. So if you're going in alone, you're just going to die. It's like you just die over and over and over, and it's not really that much fun. But if you have a lot of people to play with, then it's a lot better. Like just me playing with Green improved the game experience so much. Like because we could buy vehicles that corresponded and stuff like that. And it was so much better. And Green had a lot to tell me about that. Mm-hmm.
From what I've heard about the game, actually, Austin, you might like it since you used to be a big raider in Warcraft. But from what I've heard is you kind of have to, like, to really get the most enjoyment out of PlanetSide, you have to join up with a big clan and play with them in Ventrilo
I can definitely see that.
And all that stuff.
Yeah, in order to get good at it. If you're just kind of like a casual PlanetSide player, then it's not so bad to go in with like a few of your friends. But if you want to like dominate a server, then you definitely need like hundreds of people. Because the whole thing is it's just a continuous fight, and you're trying to take as much land as you can. And I guess you probably get like different bonuses based on the bases you take over. I've honestly never even managed to take over a single base by myself, and when we did, I was like instantly just moving on to the next one to take it over again. So I didn't really delve too deep into the gameplay itself. It was just basically me running around buying a tank and then losing the tank instantaneously by falling off a cliff.
Right. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty bad until Green joined, and then he would start, yelling at me for doing stupid things. So I would stop doing stupid things as often.
Right. We just need to be around you to tell you not to do this.
Yeah, exactly. It would be a lot of fun if we all played at the same time. It could be stream material.
I have it halfway. Downloaded, but I never finished.
I don't think you can play a halfway downloaded game actually.
Actually, you are technically wrong because Blizzard games you can do that now.
Yeah, because science. I remember that the last time I patched World of Warcraft like a year or two ago. You were allowed to play once it was like halfway done.
That's
but
cool.
It still took like 6 hours to patch, so it didn't matter anyway. Might as well just leave it overnight.
You guys all went auto-tune for me just now, by the way.
That's our new shtick for the podcast. Actually,
we're just gonna go auto-tune at different points. Yeah, different important points. Actually, I was meaning to ask because I want to know. and someone did mention it. They called it pay to inside. What's the
Inside?
microtransaction? Yeah, what's the microtransaction model like in that game?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if it's a huge benefit.
I don't know what microtransactions are.
What is just so I already know, but for all the viewers that don't know, explain. No, I'm just kidding. But I
all the
really
viewers who don't know that word. Now you're insulting them, Cameron. Good job.
Yeah. I really didn't get that deep into it. It doesn't seem like it's game breaking just because there are hundreds of people fighting against you. So even if you did get like a super powerful tank unlocked or something, I'm sure they would still make you buy it with your in-game, money that you earn over time.
Okay.
But it seems like it evens out a lot because they give bonuses to the team that has the least land and stuff like that. So, it couldn't get that bad. Is what I'm saying. Like,
right.
There are hundreds of people that could probably destroy you if they saw that you had a really good vehicle. So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
And last of all, my last game that I wanted to mention, and I'm sure that you all wanted to mention this one as well. So maybe this will just be a good segue into someone else's. But Path of Exile obviously came out.
I was for sure you were gonna say Hatful Boyfriend. I mean,
yes,
you need to play that game.
Yeah, you really should.
Yeah, I should. I was just gonna mention my boyfriend. Actually, we were going out on a good date the other night. Walking.
Yeah,
through
Cam wanted to come out on the podcast.
Yeah, and then Zen showed up and he killed my boyfriend. So.
I thought it was a tiger.
Yeah. You thought my boyfriend is a tiger, so thanks. Thanks a lot.
Was a tiger.
Well,
Well, I wouldn't know. You would know all about him being a tiger. In bed.
He was quite the tiger in bed as well.
Oh.
In fact, at all times.
And literally.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah.
So Path of Exile, the open beta, is now up and ready for everyone to play. And I highly suggest anyone that is listening to this right now, if you haven't downloaded Path of Exile and you liked games like Diablo, like, holy shit, I wasted half of my life pretty much on Diablo. And this came out, and I'm almost pissed that this wasn't out when Diablo was out. Because this is just basically this is Diablo with major improvements.
I really enjoyed. There's so many little things in that game that come together and make it just make sense, make it way more enjoyable than other games. Like the flash system is fucking.
Yes.
I mean, in games like this, you're gonna always have healing potions anyway. So why not make it a regenerating kind of thing where you only need one flash? You're not picking up 9 billion potions all the time.
Yeah.
It works so nicely.
Yeah, makes so much more sense.
But does it
There's so many of those.
And actually,
things.
to talk about another thing that I thought was really cool about Path of Exile, that is that same kind of thing. Is like, well, because like Diablo 3 seemed like they didn't really look at what was wrong with Diablo 2 and change it. They just kind of changed what they wanted to, which was the skill system, which didn't really need changing necessarily. But like what Path of Exile did is it's like, okay, well, after like level like 40, gold doesn't even matter in Diablo 2 anyway.
Yeah,
right?
well,
like, nobody really used gold for currency. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say gold ever mattered because you get so much of it, and if you don't have enough to buy it off of a vendor, then you're gonna get it otherwise just by killing monsters.
Right. Exactly.
Like
so instead of
like a potion.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. So instead of that, Path of Exile says they'll do basically what happened in Diablo 2 with late game, is that like people didn't really trade in gold anymore. They kind of just traded in certain rare items, and that's what Path of Exile does. It's all a barter economy, and you get items in place of gold, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't like. I mean, I guess you can. Never mind. I'm stupid. You could probably just throw it all in your stash. I didn't like how
really
the currency took up spaces in your inventory, but I guess since they're actual items, it makes sense instead of gold.
Yeah, because they're so dual faceted in that sense, where you can use it as currency, but it also does something extremely useful. So
right. Oh, I had a feeling Rob would drop from the call. He dropped from the call.
Ah, good. Well, for anyone, just to keep this going, for anyone who actually hasn't tried out Path of Exile, basically they combined, and has played Diablo, basically they combined the identify scroll.
Identify.
You had to pay a fee to get the scroll.
It's like the scrolls of identify, is what I always called them. But basically they combine gold like currency and the scrolls of identify whatever. And so you use it all for just like buying from a vendor. You pay 5 scrolls of identify for a good item or something like that. But Zen, you are the resident ARPG expert, are you not?
I am not. Sorry. No, but I have played Path of Exile back when it was in closed beta. And yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree with most of what's being said here. Actually, all of what's being said here. It's better than Diablo 3 in many aspects, and I really enjoyed it. It's just that I haven't had the time lately to jump into the open beta myself.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. But the one thing about it that I don't know. I guess another thing about it that I really like, as I try to add Rob back to the call, is that the skill tree is just amazing. The skill tree blows me away. Like, it blows my dick away. It's such a great... Yeah.
I don't feel the same way.
Blows your dick away.
It does.
No more penis for Austin. It's gone, yeah.
It's gone. It was just that good. Rob's back. That's good.
Rob makes his intro. No more penis for Austin.
It got
go ahead and timestamp when you got knocked off, Rob, so we can find that easier.
Well, I just didn't talk, so...
Okay, that's good. Anyway, but basically the skill tree, it's fucking massive is the first thing. I mean, you literally have to scroll out, and even when you're all the way scrolled out, you still can't see all of the skill tree.
Yeah.
And you start off on one spot. Each class starts off in a different spot, and you can go wherever the tits you want on that thing. You can just make tits if you want out of it. I don't know, make pretty picture. You can go anywhere and get any stat you want, and it's just like, why has this not been done before?
Yeah, it's makes... one giant skill tree. You should say, yeah. It's just everyone can do absolutely anything. Like they had a post on the website where it was like interesting builds, and they showed one where it was like a warrior class started on one end of the tree and built his way all the way over to be able to use wands, and was like owning people with wands. And it's just so much versatility.
See, the thing with other skill trees, or skill trees in other games, I guess mainly like World of Warcraft, a game or another skill tree that I played, is that the skill tree, you couldn't customize it. You really couldn't. Like, someone, whenever they changed something or made a new skill tree, someone would find the best build, and you would have to use that, or there was no other build you could use. That was the best one, mathematically. And so, this one just makes it to where there are so many possibilities. There's never going to be one, that people are always going to be finding new things to do. And that's awesome. Instead of being locked into one thing, that's the best.
Definitely. Yep. So,
that seems pretty awesome.
That seems to wrap up my my games of the week. Does anybody else want to?
Well, Zen next, since we were technically going in a backwards round robin.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. Sadly, I haven't been playing very many games aside from the ones that I do to keep up content going to the channel. The only game that maybe everyone else might be interested in that I've been playing is Borderlands 2, where I've been playing that DLC character, the Macromancer, and the because I got it quote unquote for free, although I really did pay a premium for it by pre-ordering the game. And she's interesting. I do like the fact that I can summon a gigantic robot of death and just hide somewhere. That's usually how I play my FPSs, because I can't aim for shit. And then because I can't aim for shit, she has a skill that allows her bullets to rebound and go back around and find the enemy, so that's even better for me.
Oh, very fun.
It's basically
sounds kind of overpowered, to be honest.
Well, it's Borderlands for noobs, basically.
Borderlands for noobs.
Right.
Yeah, and so you could, the bullets that rebound, they only do half the damage that a normal bullet would, right? And there's only a certain percentage of the bullets actually rebounding. Some of them will just disappear, like normal bullets will.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's intriguing.
So aside from that, only casual iOS games. That's really about it, because...
Any good iOS games?
Sorry. Good iOS games. Cam, were you going to say something? Just go ahead and say it.
One game that I saw on your channel that you were playing and that I was kind of interested in hearing about, because I really haven't heard anything. I know Total Biscuit did a WTF is on it, but Super Amazing Wagon Adventure. I haven't heard anything about that. And it looks really cool from what I've seen.
Yeah, well, Super Amazing Wagon Adventure. For those of you guys who have never heard of this is basically a randomly generated almost like side-scrolling shooter thing, but it takes place, it's basically a parody of the Oregon Trail, that old game about people going west in the 1800s, something like that. And, it's somewhat randomly generated. It doesn't take itself seriously. At some point you can get launched to space. Sometimes ninjas will attack. And you're just a wagon just flying through, the old west, basically.
And how much is that?
How much is that? I don't remember exactly. It's not on Steam because it's still on Greenlight, but because of the publicity that Total Biscuit and Northern Lion have given it, it's starting to rise up through the ranks. But I think it might be $4 something on Desura. You can also buy on Xbox Live Indie Games also. And there is a demo on the website itself, which I guess it's called Sparse Vector. So SPARSEVECTOR. And I'll provide a link to you so that whoever uploads it can put it on the video. But let's have a look at this. Yeah, it's $3 on Desura.
Damn. I
cheap game.
Based on what I saw on your channel, I would definitely pay for that if I had $3.
If you had $3.
Yeah,
it's definitely an important factor. Yeah.
Yeah, I currently have like $2 in my bank account. I'm waiting for.
Oh.
Well.
Yeah, I'm waiting for transfer.
Oh, I hope you have your instant ramen and kansu ready.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of stock food, like a lot of spaghetti and all that, but yep, waiting with bated breath for more money.
Isn't it just spaghetti though?
Yeah, no, it's spaghetti, but I have also other sauce. Yeah. So, somebody did just say in the chat, sell some of your golden planet. See, I'm not that stupid. You're trying to trick me into making my golden planet worth less. I would never sell my golden planet because then it's worth less. It's an investment, my friends.
Well, welcome back to Cam Understands Nothing About Economics.
No, I remember when I was in college, for the first part of it, I was just living on ramen soup, and that's not good. Not good at all.
Yeah, it's really unhealthy. I've had a similar experience as well. It's no fun.
Yeah, it really isn't. Fun. But yeah, Super Amazing Wagon Adventure. I mean, Cam, whenever you get around to getting it, and you decide if you want to put it on your channel, I'm definitely up for that. Because it is fun.
Is it? It's not multiplayer, right?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not. It's just one of those things in which I'm just going to sit on your back and yell at you.
Okay, perfect. I'm up for that. I love getting yelled at.
Yep.
And that's pretty much the whole premise of my channel. So.
Yep.
And
let's all yell at Cam.
Currently yelling at Cam. Currently being yelled at Cam.
Yes, exactly.
Let's see. On iOS, I've been playing this silly game called Knights of Pen and Paper, which is a turn-based RPG, where the gimmick is that you're not really fantasy adventurers like every other game. You are a bunch of people sitting around a tabletop with a nerdy DM who's narrating the game for you. So, because you are both the DM and the party, you also set the number of monsters you want to fight. So if you think you can handle more of a challenge, you change the encounter so that you have more monsters and more difficult monsters. If not, then you just set it down. So, that's that, kind of gimmicky.
Huh. That sounds kind of awesome, actually.
Yeah, I kind of want to play that.
That sounds similar, except not similar at all, to Dungeonland, which is coming out very shortly. Did come out.
Segway!
Yeah. I thought that was a good segue. Good segue moment. Segue! We gotta have like a little transition that comes in and like, punches you in the face.
And the segue was totally ruined by us pointing out that it was segue.
Repeatedly.
Welcome back to the entire cast of We Need to Go Deeper Explains the Joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, Dungeonland looks pretty cool. Have you guys seen anything about Dungeonland?
Absolutely nothing.
It does not look appealing to me, actually.
Break it down for me as somebody who has like no knowledge of it whatsoever.
Butts. A lot of butts.
Yeah.
Lots of butts, all right.
Full with butts, yeah.
Okay.
Lots and lots of butts.
Good.
It's being made by Paradox, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the Magica guys.
Yeah, well, it's not. Well, no, it's not. It's not made by the guys who made Magica. Actually, Magica, the guys who made Magica are coming out with a game called Showdown Effect, which actually looks really, really cool.
Oh.
Which is kind of like similar to, what is it? Cobalt, the Mojang's game. It looks very similar to that, except I don't know, slightly better art style. I don't know. It's really up to the viewer.
Yeah.
But that's a separate thing. Dungeon Land has a dungeon master, and it's played co-op, and it kind of works like an action RPG in fighting and all that. And you basically progress through this world that is kind of like populated by the dungeon master, what that player is, and the dungeon master decides how difficult or easy it is to get through each part of the game and all that.
Oh, that sounds like... How many players can play at one time together?
Oh, man. I think 5?
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. Shoddy being the dungeon master.
Oh, that's the thing. It'll
we've
be
talked
fun.
about this. Yeah. We don't want Cam as the dungeon master. It would be impossible. We would never play. Oh, 3 players, 1 dungeon master. Okay.
See, here's the thing, though. I watched Dr. Biscuits. Goodness, Total Biscuits.
Watch Dr. Biscuit.
Dr. Biscuit. Total Biscuits video on it, in which he was a dungeon master and a bunch of other people, Jesse Cox Dodger and someone else, were the players. And the game almost seems like it's really weighted towards the dungeon master. Like the dungeon master can basically just fuck everyone, you know?
Yeah,
destroy them by summoning monsters or just doing effects at the right time. Like the first video I watched, they were on easy mode and then very easy mode, and then the player characters got trashed anyway. So
really?
I'm wondering what the balance
the game
of the
is
game
very
is
difficult. Well, I think the game is designed not to be played with random players. It's meant to be played with your friends, because like that's the thing with like tabletop RPGs too. In like, even if you're playing like D&D or something, like the dungeon master could be a total dick if he wanted to and completely
you get AIDS and die.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's attempting to do that and see. It's kind of a sociological experiment, isn't it? Like, to see if there is going to be online co-op, if they're just going to allow dungeon masters to do whatever they want. They might limit them. I don't know.
Right.
But
so the chat is saying, actually, that Dodger and Jesse didn't have a clue how to play. So maybe that's it. Maybe they're just messing up, you know.
That's a fair point. Although, from earlier footage, I mean, I remember seeing footage of that months ago, before it recently had this surge in popularity, from that Paradox event that they did in wherever it was, in the middle of nowhere in Eastern Europe. But yeah, it was just as hard then. Like, it seemed like it was extremely difficult. It seems like it's a pretty difficult game.
So
anyway,
I mean, the thing about tabletop RPGs, and I don't know if any of you have played very much of the actual tabletop Dungeons and Dragons or any tabletop RPGs.
No, I haven't.
Able to now.
So what it really is that it's a collaborative storytelling experience. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Like, the dungeon master is there to give the players a challenge, but it's also there to facilitate the experience of sharing a story together. So if you ask me, and I haven't seen this, I don't know if they have these features. I think the dungeon master should also be able to reward treasure and do buffs at the same time, so that it's more of a closer experience to that, you know. Right. Instead of just monsters screw you over, basically, which is what I saw mostly. And even though it's funny, you know, if they are going to try to replicate the tabletop experience a little more closely, then that's what they're going to have to go for as well.
Yeah, you know, honestly, from what I can tell, I don't think it's necessarily trying to be D&D, because I mean, you have to keep in mind, because I think you don't even get like customizable characters. You play one of like 3
that's
actual dudes, right? So I think it's just emulating just the experience of having a dungeon master, because also you don't make your own stories either. It's like the same levels every time, kind of like Left 4 Dead kind of thing. Right. And you can just choose how many monsters you spawn. So yeah, I mean, you know, I think if it does well, I think that opens an avenue for more of a tabletop type experience in video games, which would be pretty cool. I would be pretty excited for that if you could do something like that. Right. So that could be pretty badass. I don't know. It seems pretty cool. It seems like a fun game to play online with friends as well. So
yeah, that sounds like the kind of thing that I would like to play with you guys. But I as much as I want to be the dungeon master, I know that you guys would never allow me to.
Yeah, you can't be the dungeon master.
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
At least for one round.
You would after the first 5 seconons. That's when you would have a problem with it. That's what would happen.
What if I was I was a benevolent dungeon master?
Right.
But
what if?
And here come the persuasive lies.
This is how I
could see it happening. It'd be like reverse Oprah. You get a dragon. You get a dragon. You all get dragons.
Wait, I can hand out dragons?
I don't know.
Yes, you can actually. You watch TV's
Topical.
video. These are really chubby, cute dragons, but the dragons nonetheless.
Okay, well, I don't think I should be Dungeon Master because I wouldn't.
Okay, when Cam knows that he can't be the leader, then you know that's done.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I would try after someone else was the Dungeon Master, but whatever. You guys suck.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
So any other games?
Austin, what have you been playing this week?
You know, I besides Path of Exile, I haven't been playing much special besides Pokemon White 2, and that's kind of an old game. But funny story from that game that a couple of people in the chat will probably know or remember from. Or this is only going to probably make sense if you've played Pokemon. But anyway, it's actually I didn't know that on Twitch you could actually highlight parts of your live stream and upload that directly to YouTube right through Twitch.
Oh,
really cool feature. But I did that for this, so maybe someone wants to find it and link in the chat. But anyway, there's this Pokemon called Dunsparce, and he's a very goofy looking, one of the goofiest Pokemon in the entire all generations. And I immediately when I encountered him, made fun of him. I was like, look at this fucking stupid, look at this stupid thing. I'd never catch this. I'd never catch it ever. It's stupid, and I murdered it. And then the entire time the chat was like, no, we can't. You're gonna have to catch a Dunsparce. We're not gonna accept this. This is ridiculous. And so then someone actually went and Googled where to find a Dunsparce and where to catch one. And it turns out it was exactly where I was at the time of him Googling it. And so I ended up going and getting it. And so I didn't think much of it at the time. Like, oh, whatever, catch a Dunsparce. Not gonna use it much. Probably get rid of it later anyway. We go through the game, and then on the gym leader, that very next gym leader, I go in. And literally, I murder his first two Pokemon, no problem, just owned them. And his last one comes up, literally one-shots every single one of my Pokemon. I couldn't do anything. And then here comes Dunsparce, last Pokemon alive, and I'm like, well, fucking, he's just gonna get one shot and die. Turns out, no, he actually ends up saving the entire battle and winning it for me, solo. And, that was kind of silly.
Everyone loves an underdog.
Yeah, it's true. Poor old Dunsparce. You never loved him.
Saving the day.
Wow.
I think it was the lack of love. It was probably the lack of love that toughened his skin.
He wanted to prove himself.
He's like, this is your chance, Dunsparce. You've been hated on too much. You can do this. You can do this, Dunsparce.
Okay, immediately, if there's ever a fucking TV show where Dunsparce is a character that can talk, Cam needs to do the voice for that.
Yeah.
Do that voice.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at desperate failures. I'm pretty good at
Well, you said it.
That's funny because that's what Cam is.
Final boss.
Dunsparce is pretty final boss,
yeah.
Anyway,
Dunsparce is
totally once we start talking about gaming news, I can probably more into the discussion of that. But anyway, that's what I'm playing.
Well, let's jump into a couple light topics of gaming news. Just because people have been linking this in the chat over and over again, and I feel the desire to speak about it, there's going to be a remake of Treasure Adventure game, which was a freeware 8-bit type game. Yeah, which you guys may have played. And they're going to remake it with really awesome looking HD graphics. I can link the article in chat here for you.
I don't recognize that game.
It's it has a very similar history as like Spelunky. Is like they're gonna remake it, make it an indie success, despite the fact that it was released freeware like Spelunky was originally.
Is this is the one that the Chucklefish is producing or publishing?
Yep, Chucklefish is publishing it. Chucklefish, by the way, in case people don't know, are the developers of Starbound.
Yes.
So they're going to be publishing this, which is cool. This is the second game that Chucklefish has actually published besides making their own goddamn game, as sort of a ways to fund Starbound, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's being made. I don't know much about it, to be honest with you. I don't think I ever played Treasure Adventure game back in the day. I played like a little bit of it when it came out.
I did see a video of it, and it looks bad. It basically it was kind of reminiscent of like Terraria mixed with like more RPG elements than Terraria, I guess. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Have you seen any videos of it?
Right. I said some. I played a little bit of it back in the day, but
back in the day, treasure adventure. It's the best game. Okay, anyway.
Well, considering we all don't know much about it, I mean, I can say that I think all of you should look up Treasure Adventure Game, see what's new with the new stuff, and when it's coming out, keep an eye on it. It seems pretty cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Chucklefish, though, to segue into another story.
Segue.
There you go.
It's like the Warp Zone voice.
Totally plagiarizing Warp Zone from Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
Ty, the developer of Starbound, the lead developer and member of Chucklefish, did a Q&A on their IRC chat.
Oh, wow.
And they talked a whole bunch about Starbound. And I can't really collect all I never collected the information, but basically, the coolest thing that I heard that he said was about the mod API. And basically the entire game, Starbound Big, the entire game is designed in a way to to allow you to mod it even if you don't know anything about programming at all.
Really?
All of the mechanics in the game are so simple on an outside level that you could go in and anyone can make their own biomes or terrain or items or building blocks or anything at all. It's completely simple and intuitive.
Cam, that's your gold planet.
Where?
Your gold planet.
Oh my goodness! A dream
I
comes
think Cam just
true.
ejaculated. Yep.
Oh my goodness!
Cam could legitimately make his golden planet in Starbound.
I think a fairy was just born because my dream just came true.
Yeah.
Oh my
Cam's
god!
ejaculate form was fairies.
I am so making my gold planet. Oh, this is ridiculous.
Maybe I should have said anything.
Something that I think everyone is wondering, especially you, Austin, is did he say anything about a release date?
The first thing he said in the question and answer was I'm completely done predicting release dates. Not because the game has been delayed, because everyone keeps getting mad at me. So that's all.
I don't know why he gave a release date at all. That was silly.
I mean, soon keeps coming up. For not the release, but for he said for sure there's going to be a pre-release beta.
Oh my god! Was Austin replaced with a fart monster?
But that my estimatorianisms say that would be probably within at least 4 months, 3 to 4 months, the pre-release beta.
I'm gonna say Christmas is when the beta is gonna come out.
Next Christmas.
Let's see. Yeah. Now they said that release was gonna be at least early 2013, first half of 2013. So
yeah, that's not true. That's not true. The game's not. Look, you can kind of based on what developers show you, you can kind of tell how far along or how long it's going to take. For instance, when I made my indie spotlight, summer of last year, or before the summer of last year, they said that summer is when it was going to come out. And I said, "There's no way that that's going to happen." And then you were excited because it was supposed to come out on around holiday time. Last year, and I said that's not going to happen either. It's just not he recently released an image that showed what it's like when you respawn, which is like a cloning machine. And if they're just adding in respawn mechanics, then it's nowhere near done. It's nowhere.
See
near
that I just pulled this up. I don't think I'm able to find it because I just started talking and I don't have it up. But he explained in detail why it's been taking so long and why they haven't said anything. Is that because they go and they build things by system. It's the same thing about the mod API. Is that everything is a system. It's big chunks that they do things, and so when they finish this huge chunk of things, they don't want to show anything about it because it would be full of spoilers because it's an entire chunk, and because literally everything is randomized up to fucking everything. They can't really do anything.
Mother everything.
Everything.
Wow, my mother is randomized in that game?
Completely randomized.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
cow.
actually the reason you came out of her breasts. But anyway.
Wow. That's next level humor. You know why that's next level humor? Is because that's not even in the podcast. That was the pre-show.
That was the pre-show. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, he has all these systems, and he can't say anything about them, and so that's why there's just absolutely nothing. But he also said that the big gap between beta and actual release is going to be the entire story and the actual I think the beta is going to be kind of like a sandbox thing where it's just a bunch of random planets that you can go to and get items and do things along the lines and dungeons and things.
I don't think they should do a beta, to be honest with you.
I agree, but I want the game so bad that my judgment is clouded, and I want it anyway.
Yeah. I don't.
I'll admit that straight up.
A bad idea. Yeah, I mean, I would like to play it as well, but games, honestly, indie games do not work well with betas. To be honest, except I guess never mind, because you could easily just cite Minecraft. But
that game was in beta for years.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. That's what I mean. Is that either release it or don't release it? Because Minecraft, that was basically released. Right. So I don't know. Anybody want to talk about anything else?
One thing, just before we get into one more thing. It is getting relatively close to around the time we ask for questions for the lightning round. Relatively close. So
just we'll go ahead and wait about 16 minutes and 22 seconds and then ask your questions.
But everyone just start asking questions in the chat and we'll answer them in the lightning round a little bit later.
Yeah, yep. And as usual, only ask the question once, or we probably will not answer it if you ask.
Yeah, I'm copying down questions, so I'll do my best not to miss any, and I won't be including questions that have been answered in earlier podcasts. So I'm sorry if you don't get your question asked, but we only have so much time.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the next news item.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you hang up.
No, you go.
No, you hang up.
No, you.
This is
okay. So, have you guys heard about planetary annihilation at all?
No.
Yes.
Total annihilation? Was it something related to that?
Total annihilation.
It actually is. It is related to Total Annihilation. It's the former developers, or some of the former developers of Total Annihilation are making Planetary Annihilation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although the studio, I think, if I'm not wrong, has come under some problems. It's just people mentioned it in the chat, and I figured I might as well mention it. It's pretty cool. Basically, it's an RTS on an extremely grand scale. So a lot of the developers from Supreme Commander are working on it, which if you know Supreme Commander, that's an RTS on a very large scale.
Right.
This is larger, so you're playing not amidst miles of battlefield. You're actually playing amongst many planets.
Okay.
But it's still an RTS. It's not a 4X game.
It looked really cool.
Yeah.
The visuals. I mean, they didn't have much, but in the trailer, but it looked pretty impressive. If they can pull it off, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Well, they do have a history of really good visuals because these are the same guys who did Super Monday Night Combat. Super Monday Night Combat.
No, that's just the bat that I own. He's
the cam bat. Okay, leave now. You're done.
He helps me because I use
that was your last strike.
I use his guano to make lipstick. You guys, come on, give me a break.
Can you say his guano?
The bat's guano. It's the bat shit. It's his own guano. He owns it.
When you say, does he own? Do you? Now here's an interesting existential topic. Do you own your poop after it's left your body? Is that poop yours?
Well, yeah. You say I took a poop, so that's my poop. You would say. I don't know.
But did you take it? Figuratively.
Yeah, that's a good point. You left a poop. You didn't take a poop. It's like leave a penny, take a penny. You only get what you give back.
I was going to say you can take a poop, but usually when you take a poop, it's your own poop because you don't say I take your poop.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You say poop, I say pop, and just fucking let's go.
Yeah, popping a poop.
Popping a poop.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta pop a poop. Well, anyway, Planetary Annihilation looks pretty cool. There's a new there's an interview on Rock Paper Shotgun with stuff about it. So that's all coolness. Okay, so we'll move on to another point of news. Did you guys see the Aliens Colonial Marines trailer?
No. Unfortunately.
You know what? As news correspondent, I need to brief you guys on news topics.
Wait. Is this the really awful one?
Yeah,
yes, I did see that.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically, in case you guys haven't seen it, you look up Aliens Colonial Marines Kick-Ass trailer. Basically, the trailer, just to give you like a preface to this, the trailer was so poorly made that the game's writer on Twitter said, "The dialogue in the Aliens trailer today is not from the game. I also did not write it. Love you." So that's how bad it was. They made the game look like Borderlands. It's just them cursing a lot and like, we know what kids like. Kids like cursing. Say shit and boner a lot. And it's like,
okay.
It's bad. That. It's real bad.
I think I'm going to see if I can look it up on Rock Paper Shotgun. You keep talking. I'll find it and I'll do a quick dramatic reading of the last 2 lines.
Here, I'll give you. I'll give you. It actually has a transcript on there because it's so bad.
Yes, that's what I'm.
That is amazing.
So for the benefit of the viewers who have no idea what we're talking about here. Yeah. Oh, here it is. And remember, we're not just fighting for the human race. We're fighting for the title of baddest motherfuckers in the galaxy. And that's a battle I intend to win. It's so bad.
It's so bad. Because you know what, the other thing too is that like it's especially bad because it's not what the game is about at all. Like that's not the game is like a survival horror game and you play as the Marines and you're getting chased down by the aliens. So it's supposed to be scary. It's not like oh, we're gonna go kill us some aliens and talk about how badass we are. It's like people gonna be screaming like alien movies, you know. But the game actually does look pretty cool, and the trailer shows it off in a very poor light. But the game does look pretty sweet. In fairness,
that's that reading was just perfect. Zen.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. I think they should just hire you as the voice actor, to be honest.
Yeah,
or whoever that guy is. Yeah,
I would do it all as like a British gentleman or like a Southern preacher or something. I'm not even going to try.
That would be pretty amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be pretty impressed. So, considering there's not much else to talk about that one, I mean, we could talk about Aliens Colonial Marines, but you get the idea. It's a survival horror game where aliens are chasing you down, xenomorphs are chasing you down. Xenomorphs,
Oh, we figured it out. Shut in the stream now.
That's the end. The stream is over.
Anyway,
we gotta go. Oh God, he's here.
So I don't know if you guys heard about Dead Island's controversial decision with their new DLC. Yeah.
What's going on now?
Okay, so basically, Dead Island decided to come out with this DLC called Riptide. And it comes in a box set. And what you get in this box set is a severed torso, right? No arms, no head, no lower half. The only thing you have is the torso. But they decided that it's a bikinied woman and she has very large breasts. So, and it's covered in blood. It's just breasts covered in blood. That's what they decided to launch with the game. And and they got in a bunch of trouble for that because obviously that's the reason.
Why.
Yeah. It's like what were they possibly fucking thinking that was a good idea?
That has to be a joke. Like they have to know that they're like, dude, guys, we're gonna like fucking look at the. Do they think we're serious? We should actually send this. I mean, how do you?
I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing that the Alien Colonial Marines guys thought. Just like, we know what kids like: blood and violence and boobs. Why don't we just put them all together? That's a bad idea.
But it has to be the same marketing team, is what it is.
Apparently, someone said it would be a good conversation piece, is what they said. Yeah, great.
A good conversation. Like, I think we're gonna leave now.
God.
Thanks for having us. We have somewhere appalling. We need to be.
Literally appalling. It's ridiculous. And I'm not one to like speak out about the games being misogynistic, because while I agree, it's a topic that doesn't necessarily need discussion, as we all know that it's obviously true. Most games are pretty misogynistic, but this is next level misogyny right here. It's like that's final boss misogyny right there.
No, that's not final boss. It's the opposite of final boss.
If you're trying to be misogynistic, then yes, it is final boss misogyny right there. You've
now
succeeded.
If you were trying to win at misogyny, that would be it. They have made the final boss of misogyny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's so that's fucking ludicrous.
It's
appalling.
That just wow. Actually, it's funny because I've seen that picture before, but I didn't get it. It was a funny post on Reddit.
Yeah.
2 different thumbnails about that, and one the title was like, "Can you tell the difference between these thumbnails?" The creative title. Anyway, and the thumbnails were that zoomed out picture, and the other thumbnail was that picture zoomed all the way into the breasts. All you could see were the breasts. And it was like, well, I guess they are targeting their audience.
And they kind of look like fake breasts.
They look terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a human at all. It looks like it's just,
it doesn't really look like a human, but if you were just to assume that the rest of the torso was just standard, but they look like fake breasts. They look like big American fake breasts.
They look like if I were to push one in, it would activate some kind of machinery.
Well, yeah, that's the special feature of the statuette is if you touch on the breast a little bit, then it squirts blood out of the neck. That's how it works.
Oh God.
Oh, God.
No, but seriously, that's like something that I'm sure the designers were like, should we do that? Maybe it'll cost too much to have the boob squirting thing, like because that would not even be a step farther. It's just like it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Well, the thing is about that is that some people were trying to make the arguments that this is the kind of thing you would see in the game itself. But if all they were trying to do was to reflect that, then they could have easily put like a Soviet ankle or foot or something like that, you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, that's not a fair analogy at all, because they obviously made the choice of what it is that you should see in the game or what it is that you want to see, and that's the fake breasts on some torso. It's just
does that reflect any sort of gameplay whatsoever?
No.
I mean, there's dismemberment, but no. That's just an apologist's really response to that you can't really even.
Right.
Yeah. It just seems like they were kind of trying to go for the whole shock value thing and
exactly
went
and
a
then
little
took
too
it
far.
Tasteless. Yeah, they took it tasteless. That's what happened.
Yeah,
because you can make shock value as, but you have to. I mean, you can make parody, you can make jokes, but you have to be tasteful. I think.
The thing is, even if it were like in poor taste, like as long as it has some sort of discernible point to it, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But this it just seems like it's kind of senseless and kind of like, all right, what can we do? Like, let's just put a big titty woman with no head and no arms and no feet. And
no, you're not looking at it from an artistic point of view. The colloquialism of the breasts and the blood and the metaphor behind the
colloquialism.
What's the colloquialism of it? Like,
I was just trying to use a big word that didn't make sense.
That should not make sense in the situation at all, unless you named it something.
Then goal accomplished.
I think the major problem here is that it just seems like they were trying to shock people for no reason, and that's why it's offensive. Like, it doesn't really apply to the game at all, and so it seems unnecessary. I'm sure there's been worse out there. But I guess this is one of the bigger games. But
right. That's the main problem is that like you can make a Flash game and it doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter is that this is a big AAA title, and to have a folly like this is it's insulting, and it only further feeds into that stereotype of this male-dominated gaming industry and this misogynistic gaming industry.
See, I mean, also didn't the game come out like 2 years ago or whatever, and wasn't it like a disappointment and it wasn't that good?
I think it still sold pretty well actually. I don't think it sold poorly.
It sold really well because it's like quote unquote loot fest almost compared with a zombie first person survivor thing.
Right, exactly.
It wasn't that great. I did play through it solo. I'm sure it's better with other players, but solo is not that good.
it didn't look very good to me. It didn't look like a very good game, which is not to say that I'm not even going to be judging the game based on this poor choice in advertisement, but it just didn't look. It wasn't appealing. It's like a cookie cutter game, you know.
Yeah,
it's like.
I mean, the other thing is that made that like the centerpiece of it all. Like if they had included that in some giant, picture of a bunch of cool shit that applied to the game, and that was just in there, then it would be fine for me at least. Like I'm not so offended that it's like, oh my god, but I can see why it's like, okay, you made this one kind of weird thing the centerpiece, and it doesn't really help you out because it doesn't show us anything about the game, and it's kind of offensive, especially since you put it in the center of everything. And that's the whole. Right. That's supposed to be the focus point of this picture. Obviously, is just like a big titty woman. If it was just in there, like a big titty, like zombie with no heads and arms, was just walking at somebody or something like that,
right?
It would be way less offensive because it would seem like it applied, and it wouldn't be.
It'd still be offensive, but less offensive.
Yeah, less offensive, but not to the point that it would totally fuck up everything. I think that their big fuck up...
it wouldn't cause a crazy controversy.
Yeah, I think their big fuck up was that they decided, okay, let's make one big centerpiece for this ad, and let's make it a big titty woman with nothing, like just a dismembered torso.
Well, because it's like they're saying, what makes a woman? There you go.
Oops.
That's what you got. That's all a woman is. Yeah.
Boobies.
So Anyway, it's not much. We're kind of just reiterating. So let's move on to another topic.
Oh, Rob's having a seizure. We have to pause the podcast. Everyone, fly to New York.
Please, insulin. Insulin? Real place. Yeah, it wasn't necessary. I mean, you have seizures you have diabetic seizures, diabetes.
Oh,
anyway,
I guess diabetic seizures, but like I was thinking different or whatever.
So, are you guys excited for Dead Space 3?
Nope.
No.
Moving on.
Well, you were supposed to say yes, because then what I was gonna do is like, are you guys excited for the Dead Space 3 PC port? And then you were supposed to say no. Basically, the PC port looks awful.
The game
essentially,
looks awful.
The game looks all right. The first Dead Space,
looks the same as the first two games.
Yeah, well, it actually looks. To be honest, it looks kind of worse than the first two games because they added in co-op and made it an action game. Like you're fighting guys with guns now, where it used to be like a survival horror game. Now it's kind of just an action game.
Maybe they realized that the second one wasn't actually scary, so they were like, "Well, fuck that. Let's just make it action."
Yep. Actually, I'm going to answer a question before the lightning round here. Sorry, we still have more news topics, but question for Rob, is Anchorman one of your favorite movies? Because you remind me of Ron Burgundy. Thank you, and yes.
Anyway, no, the game just, I mean, I watched an entire playthrough of Dead Space 2, and I didn't get it. Like, thing that, maybe because I wasn't playing it, but I didn't get it. But it was like, you don't know where to go? Oh, press this button, and we will literally tell you exactly where you need to go.
Yeah, well, Thanks. See, that's the thing. Okay, let me give you an example of why that mechanic was actually nice, and I was not a problem. I didn't have a problem with it. Is because being lost isn't necessarily the fun part of a survival horror game, right? That's not the scary part, is being lost, of getting lost. Like, if you're in Resident Evil, right, and playing Resident Evil, when you got lost in the mansion, that wasn't really that fun. It was just kind of annoying. And then, in fact, it just made the monsters kind of trivial because you'd run past them over and over again, backtracking, right?
Well,
so, in Dead Space, you kind of... I'll give you an example of what I did in the original Dead Space, is, like, you could use that mechanic, and basically, in the very beginning of the game, you have a choice. So, it shows you where you're supposed to go, and then it also shows you, obviously, if that's where you're supposed to go, then all of these other rooms I can just explore. So it was like, all right, well, I mean, I have to explore. I'm a video gamer, right? I need to do that. So there's a bathroom. I'm like, all right, fine, fuck it. I'll just walk into this bathroom. As soon as I walk into the bathroom, the lights turn out in the bathroom, and I'm like, nope, fuck that. Close the game. Done. So I mean, that's I think it actually lends itself well to the game play.
Well, see, that makes sense. I get it, but honestly, this might just me being a little too overbearing. But if it's that easy to get lost in your game, then it's poorly designed. Then if it's that easy to get lost that you need to put a literal directional arrow to point where you need to go. Maybe let's make areas more unique or appealing.
Well, it's not that. I mean, also you have to consider the genre. It's a survival horror game. You can't have you're not going to have an extremely scary place that's really bright and colorful, and distinct.
Well, right.
It has to be more or less the same thing. It's not
Amnesia doesn't tell you where to go at all. It doesn't give you a line.
But
that game is 10,000 times scarier than Dead Space.
Yeah, but is it scarier because you don't know where to go? Is that why? Because that's the root of the question here, isn't it?
Right. Well, then I think that should take away from Dead Space, and it'd be a negative aspect. If it's less scary because you need to, you always know where you need to go, then yeah. Like imagine if you didn't know where to go in that situation with the bathroom, and you walk into the bathroom, and then that happens, and you don't even know. Then I mean, what is it scarier then? I mean, again, I never played the game myself, so I wouldn't know. But that just seems like poor design to me.
I don't think so. I mean, it's not necessarily. I honestly don't think that it's that. Look, you could get turned around in any game. It doesn't matter which game it is, and you could get lost very easily. I just don't think it actually takes away from the gameplay, because exploration isn't like the knowing where you need to go isn't necessarily a limiting factor for me. Like because I'm gonna go explore anywhere anyway, and this is for people who aren't going to or will. I mean, like I said, I use it just because it's like, oh well, I kind of got turned around. Let's see where I actually need to go, or give me a hint as to where I'm supposed to go. And I honestly don't think it really degenerates the game that much, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I guess I can't speak too much on it.
I mean, does the game? I haven't played it either, but does the game baby you in any other aspect, or is that the only real, walk?
It has quick time events. Everyone loves those, right?
It is quick time events, so I mean, yeah, there's that. But no, it doesn't really. There's not. I don't think that there's an over tutorialization. As far as Dead Space 1 is concerned. So, I mean, besides that, no, not really. And it's not like it solves the puzzles for you. You still have to do the puzzles. That being said, they're not super hard, but still, I mean, it just shows you which direction you're supposed to be going.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
I mean, I seem to recall a game that I played recently. For some reason, I can't. Oh, it was Skyrim. Skyrim had that, too.
Yeah, I don't like that either in Skyrim.
You didn't like that?
Or it shows you where to go?
It's the same thing.
No, I don't. I mean, I guess it makes more. I mean, you kind of need it in Skyrim, but I feel like, I don't know, I mean, it's more, you shouldn't have to be told exactly pinpoint where to go with the icon on your screen.
I think with those games, it's not so much about you should be searching where to go as much as it is no. Experience this game in its fullest.
I mean, it makes more sense in Skyrim. It makes way more sense in Skyrim because it's open world and you have literally a circle as opposed to a line in terms of where you're going. So you kind of need it way more. But it still doesn't mean I like it.
Well, I'll tell you.
I mean,
the game that really does this well, I think, is Deus Ex: Human Revolution, because you can choose to turn it all off. It's right there. Everything's highlighted. It'll tell you where to go next. Or if you want to do it the old-fashioned, old-school way, then you can just turn the whole thing off and figure it out yourself.
Right.
But it does come from a standpoint that the game.
I mean, in Dead Space, you don't have to use that mechanic either.
Right, but if the problem's still there, I mean, yeah, if it's too easy to get lost, then there needs to be something to help you push along. But it doesn't need to be something that breaks your immersion out of the game, like an arrow or a line that doesn't actually make sense.
There's some games that do this really well. Like, I mean, this is going to sound stupid, but Sleeping Dogs actually does this quite well in the sense that you can choose to use the objective markers, but they tell you through colors where you're supposed to go. I think Mirror's Edge does something similar to that also.
Yeah, that's perfect example of what should be done in games like those. That it needs to be there, but it doesn't need to be a line or an icon or something along those lines.
But on the other hand, it's really difficult for Dead Space because there's blood all over the place, So.
Right.
I mean, just like in Skyrim, it doesn't force you to use it. You don't have to use it. It's not like, oh shit, it told me to press this button, so now I have to do this, and now it ruined the game for me. You can choose not to use it if you don't want to use it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I get that, But if I'm getting lost over and over, I'm going to eventually use it because it's there. I'm not going to like.
So then, yeah, exactly. If you're getting lost in over,
but no,
it's a nice little crutch. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't see anything like for instance, I'll give you an example. Actually, a very recent example in my gaming experience. I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed 3 actually because my internet died for the past 2 days. So I basically blew through most of that game. I just recently did a mission in it that involves Paul Revere, and it's one of the worst missions that I've ever played in any video game ever. One, it's already an escort mission, so there you go.
Your problem.
That's the first start. No, but here's the second part. Okay, so you're in an open world, and it doesn't tell you where to go. The rest of the game, they're like, here's the point. This is the door that you have to go to. But for that one mission, that one sole mission, they decide that instead of that. I'm supposed to listen to, I'm supposed to press LB every time I want Paul Revere to give me directions as to where I'm supposed to go, and then I follow his cryptic signal of his arm pointing in sort of a direction. And it was the worst, the worst experiences.
I remember that.
It was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in a game.
I know, I remember doing that, and that actually wasn't so horrible for me. I know it was, like, pretty shitty, like, they could have done it better, but, you know, I guess it was pretty bad, yeah.
I mean, it's just because it's the idea is just like, just tell me where to go. Why does me fumbling around trying to find a place that it's not making me more immersed by saying that Paul Revere is showing me, because if he were showing me, then he would just lead the fucking way. I wouldn't be driving the fucking horse, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he knows where to go, obviously, and I don't. So it's not immersing me more. Well, all it's doing is making me fumble through a mission that takes way longer than it should have for no reason. And not only that, it also goes against everything that you've learned in the game so far. So it doesn't even really.
You're listing an extreme of incorrectly doing it as opposed to like that's how every game does it and they always do it wrong. That's just an example of doing it completely wrong as opposed to doing it creatively and in a way that doesn't, you know. I mean, I think there's a happy medium that you can find for most games that game designers choose to stray away from because it's way more work and actually takes a lot more time as opposed to just putting a line on your screen.
Well, to be fair for Dead Space though, and you know, haven't played it, so take what I say with a pinch of salt. They really do a lot towards removing the UI element of it. That's one of the things the reasons why Dead Space 1 was so well praised.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think to speak on Rob's specific point about Assassin's Creed, I think the way they could have fixed that is literally just Paul Revere just points like at certain points, like as you're already walking, and it gives you like a waypoint ahead to keep going. Because it did feel kind of pointless where you had to like stop and like hit. It's like, God damn it, Paul Revere, just tell me where we're going.
Right. It also didn't help that he would continually glitch and say, "Get back on the horse," while I'm riding the fucking horse. And it's like, no, just point me where I need to go, you son of a bitch. Just tell me, because I can't find it otherwise.
And
the glitchiest Paul Revere.
I would like to add that I know I've mentioned this before, but what broke Assassin's Creed 3 for me? I couldn't fucking kill George Washington. I wanted to murder that asshole.
I just got this image though of like Paul Revere. The British are coming in that-ish direction. They're from that-ish direction. They're coming
from over there.
That's basically it. It's basically over Assassin's Creed 3 in a nutshell.
Yeah, go over there.
Where, Paul Revere? Over there. There. It's there.
I'm driving this horse right now. I am riding it. Please, just tell me where to go. North, east, west. Please.
Like kind of over there.
Kind of to the left. I can't hear you. We're on a goddamn horse right now. So anyway.
Why don't you? Yeah.
Anyway.
Do we have any more gaming news?
Yes, there's one. I actually saved this one bit of news for the last.
Well, wait, I think I have one then if you want to save that one for last.
All right, go for it.
You're going to talk about I guess, yeah, that one. But anyway, Nintendo just talked about a couple things Zelda related. Actually, they've talked about a lot of different games and things. Like they're finally making a new Yoshi game where Yoshi's the main character. Kind of in the style of Kirby's. It's from the same team that made Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Oh, I heard that game was good, actually.
Yeah, and the overseer or the supervisor of that game was the lead developer of Yoshi's Story.
Oh,
maybe
Super Mario World 2?
No, I believe the Nintendo 64 Yoshi Story.
Oh,
which is
that was still
probably
fun.
the happiest game in the history of time ever.
Yeah, that was a good game.
That game was incredibly happy. But they talked about Zelda, and they talked about two things. One was a HD Wind Waker remake, which looks fantastically beautiful.
I mean, that's nice, but just play Wind Waker on Dolphin. There you go.
Well, have you seen the comparison? Have you seen the comparison images?
No. I will go.
They actually, there's a website that used HD Dolphin, and they compared it to the new HD screenshots, and woo. The problem with that though is that what you just said, the art of Wind Waker is already amazing.
Right.
So I don't know how you can make it any better.
I mean, I feel like that's why they chose Wind Waker though, because it probably required the least work to completely remake.
Yeah. Actually, this just looks like they added Light Bloom and HDR. Like that looks like the only thing that they did. Right. I don't even know if they retextured the game, to be honest with you, from what I'm seeing here.
Well, I don't know. I don't know much about art and things like that.
I mean, it seems pretty, but it honestly just looks like they slapped on HDR lighting. Like that's all it looks like.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. It's nice because I'd like to play Wind Waker again, and that give me an excuse to buy a Wii U. But on the more serious note, actually before, they also talked about the new Super Smash Brothers game.
Oh, interesting.
Which I think the only thing they said on it was that it's still in development. You have to wait a little longer. It's like, thanks, Nintendo.
Yeah. Fuck I've read interviews with the guy who makes Super Smash Brothers, and he's under the same kind of idea that the Stephen Moffat, the head of Doctor Who, feels is like, yeah, we're not going to tell you when we're going to make it, but we're going to make it. Don't worry. And it's like, oh man, I hate you.
It's going to come out, but I don't know when it's going to come out.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh man, that's so good and smart, and I know that that's a good thing to do, but I still hate you for it. Yeah.
They also announced some third-party titles, like I think someone in the chat mentioned Xenoblade or Xenoblade 2 or something, and then one more that I don't remember. Oh, that's
interesting. I didn't hear about that. That sounds interesting.
It looked really nice, actually, especially with the Wii U HD. Mm-hmm. It looked really nice. But then they talked about the new Zelda game, and they said a couple of things in it. One of which was awesome, and one of which was questionable, and we already had an argument. Me and Green and Cam had an argument about it, but they said they wanted to change two conventions about Zelda that that are generally in every Zelda, and they want to branch out. And
I'm okay with that.
Those two conventions were linear dungeons, which if they're changing that's awesome. That's great.
Cool, yeah.
That blow us away. Surprise us, do something cool and different. At Zelda, you have a nice slate. But then they said the next convention being playing by yourself. Yeah.
Well,
I'm just gonna put my 2 cents in at the very start. Don't knock it until you try it, for real. Like we're speaking on conjecture right now. You have no idea how they're gonna put together the
I actually true. I went into a little depth about it in a video I made talking about it, but I can see like 3 different types of multiplayer aspects that they could do. They could do one, which would be like the Super Mario World kind of multiplayer, where not Super Mario World, Super Mario Galaxy, where one person just plays and one person points at the screen and collects star bits and shit. Very minor, which wouldn't make any sense because it's like, well, why would you want someone sitting next to you waving a pointer around the screen while you're trying to play a Zelda game?
Right.
The second one would be a co-op story mode, which would I have no idea. There's like 99% chance that could end badly, but there's, I guess, that 1% chance that it could be amazing and cool.
I mean, here's why I think it could be cool. I'll give you a reason why I think it could be cool and why I think it could be terrible. Why it could be cool is, in all honesty, with my experience of playing Zelda, I usually play them with people anyway, like with people with me. Which I don't know if that's just me. Or if other people do that, but when I was younger, I used to play with my mom and eventually her boyfriend in Zelda, and then actually in college, in my first year of college, I actually did my first kind of Let's Play, except it was live, and I played through Ocarina of Time, and a couple people would just come up to my room every night and watch me play Ocarina of Time. So, I mean, in my experience, I've played that kind of experience of Zelda with friends, and it is kind of the experience, because, you know, Zelda is cool because of the atmosphere and the story, so I'm kind of okay with watching sometimes. That being said, it could also totally be Resident Evil 5, which people didn't say was a bad game, but it is basically, if you're playing single player, the game is devalued, and I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want it to be, you know, co-op, right, and then the game is devalued because you're not playing co-op.
If there's a stupid AI dinking around ruining everything,
right, yeah,
then yeah, that would be horrible. It would ruin the entire game. And so the thing is, they're already on hot water or whatever for Skyward Sword, so they need to be very careful with how they proceed with this, because I mean, and no one wants to see a dinky one-off multiplayer mode where you just swing swords.
I mean, okay, since the series is primarily a single-player game, I'm sure that, you know, they're not going to sacrifice a bunch of stuff out of the single player just so that they can have some co-op. You know, I'm sure it'll be just as good co-op as it will single player. Like, a good example of a game that does this well is obviously Portal 2. Like, you can play the single player, and it's a fucking lot of fun, and then you can also play the multiplayer, and it's almost like the same amount of fun, if not, you know, more. And it doesn't take anything away from either one to play either one.
That would be cool. I honestly, I would be okay with a separate mode of co-op in Zelda where you could do stuff. That would be cool. I would be down for that as just an added extra. I think that would be pretty cool.
I mean, I can totally see it working in some ways, but I can't see this Nintendo that gave us Skyward Sword making it work in a good way, just because of that connection to me.
Also, it's important to know that, like, or to keep in mind that this isn't the first time they've done co-op Zelda. I mean, you have Four Swords, so...
Yeah, I mean, I could mention Four Swords was a fun game, but it had no overbearing story or depth. Yeah, it was very flat. So
yeah, true
that only brings it down more than I think anything else.
Yep.
You have to make it multiplayer and have it not be a gimmick. If you make it a gimmick, you'll ruin the whole thing. Yeah. It can't be just for the sake of it. You have to have a reason.
I mean, since they've made this announcement, I'm sure that they're not going to make it a gimmick. Like, the way that they...
Well, you would be surprised.
The way that they came out with it.
Sword, so...
Right. Yeah. Well, so it is about an hour and 20 minutes in, so I think we should move on to the lightning round. Actually, Rob, you have the last piece of news. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is I wanted this last piece of news. THQ has been sold off. So last time I actually caught some heat from a friend of mine who said that THQ wasn't actually dead, but it is, and THQ is long dead now. It's being, actually,
recently dead
now. Well. They've been dead for quite a while, but they're officially dead now because all of their assets are being sold off. Just to kind of read out a list, Relic, by the way, is the company that I was talking about, the RTS developer. They're fine. They've made Homeworld and Company of Heroes and the Dawn of War series. They're going to Sega, which is really cool because Sega does the Total War series as well, and they handle that really well. Apparently, Relic is going to be allowed autonomy. They can make whatever they want. Company of Heroes 2 is safe. And also they're not going to make Relic do anything on any other platform besides PC. So that's pretty cool. Also, one that came out of fucking left field was Homefront. Have you guys ever played Homefront? It's basically a Call of Duty ripoff that failed.
Yeah, I did see. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, well, Crytek bought that up. Actually, it was the first property to be bought, which is just mind-fucking-boggling. But Homefront is bought, so Homefront 2 is being made, and it's going to be made in the CryEngine, not surprisingly. Honestly, I think they just bought it to show off the CryEngine, to be honest with you.
I don't think it should be... I don't think it's such a big deal that, Homefront was bought first, because I'm sure the bigger titles are going to be, have more deliberation around them than the smaller, less important titles.
Yeah, I think a company sees Homefront and sees a free, easy, like, oh, look at you, Call of Duty guns, and boop, bop, bam, buy it.
My thing is, like, if you're gonna make a Homefront game, right, and you're Crytek, is it really cheaper to buy the team for Homefront and buy the license for Homefront than it is to just be like, we're just going to make a Call of Duty ripoff? Like, is the IP Homefront that appetizing? It doesn't seem that appetizing to me.
Yeah, it's kind of silly.
It's not like it's a, like, honestly, the name even seems like it would be a mar on whatever Homefront 2 would be. You know? I don't know.
I'm not saying.
I think it's just a money grab, but you know.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're gonna go and make something amazing with it, but
Yep.
I'm saying probably it was probably just a buy up to make a quick profit, kind of like buying a house and flipping it,
Yeah, fair enough. That's actually probably a good point. So Ubisoft actually bought the South Park game, which is pretty cool. So Obsidian and South Park, they have a place, and they're at Ubisoft, which is good and bad. Good because the PC release is probably still good on that. Like Obsidian was going to make a PC release. And they're kind of they've kind of been given PC releases a little bit more attention now at Ubisoft. The bad news is it's probably going to be bundled with Uplay, which is the most god-awful thing that has ever been conceived in the history of forever.
Another bad thing about it is that the intro is going to be 2 minutes longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, right.
So
Ubisoft Montreal. Ubisoft Canada.
Yeah, right.
Ubisoft United Kingdom. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in any video game.
Do you guys know you're playing Ubisoft? Hey, we have this launcher so you can Ubisoft while you Ubisoft, and you can Ubisoft while Ubisofting Ubisoft. And it's just like, I know I'm playing your game. Shut up about
Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, I'm so sorry, but I tuned out. Were you just mentioning South Park?
Yes, I was.
Okay, good. Yeah. No, I knew that game was not, going down the shitter because it's probably
I wasn't necessarily afraid of that. I was just afraid that it was going to be picked up by EA or something who would want to make it teen and then kill everything that's good about the project or something. You know what I mean?
I mean,
like, let's not even use the South Park characters.
But come on, man, it's South Park. Like, there's no way that game is going teen. Like, no matter who buys it, really. Like, unless there are a bunch of, there's a bunch of red tape around it. I guess that could really ruin it. Like, if it was bought up by the wrong person.
The old South Park games that were made, I don't think any of them were mature rated.
Which weren't involved.
Sorry, guys, I'll be back in like a minute. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
All right. That's cool.
But Matt Stone and Trey Parker were not involved in those. I'm sure that they would not allow... This is kind of like... I would like to think that this is kind of like their brainchild in a way.
Right.
So I'm almost positive that no matter who really buys it, it's going to end up being a mature game at least.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't one of the classes Jew?
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's your answer right there.
Yeah. Well, see, but the thing is, when you're bought up by a bigger company, like in a lot of ways, honestly, in a lot of ways, you have the three big publishers right now, which is, EA, Activision Blizzard, and now it's kind of Ubisoft. Ubisoft is now like one of the biggest publishers out there, and they're publishing a lot of games. So when you're that big, you do have to concern yourself. Like, you see how quickly, like, Mass Effect got like the biggest controversy scandal over the fact of nothing. Literally, like nothing. Nothing that Mass Effect did was totally wrong and evil, but they got a huge controversy. So I mean, like, making a South Park game, I could so easily see Hillary Clinton being like, this is what's wrong with the world. Kill video games, ban them all. And then Ubisoft doesn't want that either, because that's a bunch of bad press and potentially lawsuits.
Okay, potentially lawsuits, but like, I mean, bad press at the end of the day is still good press. Like, you see how hard Hillary Clinton went after GTA, and guess how well GTA is doing.
Right, so, like, I mean, that's a good point.
Well. So, like, and South Park has gotten so much bad press in the past that it's like, how are you even still alive? But it's
immune
bad
to it
press to South Park is good press. That's what it is. They have insanity license, so if they get bad press, people are like, oh, it's South Park, and the people that are writing this article are fucking idiots, and they don't get the humor.
Yeah.
So, like...
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Anyone that really goes after it is just kind of asking for, a beating from everyone who loves South Park, which is everyone.
Yeah. Fair point. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. You're totally right. The other thing that Ubisoft bought up from the THQ bundle, basically, if you guys like got the winter bundle, this is the game publisher companies getting their THQ bundle. They got Patrice Desilet's 1666 project. Also, this other game that he was making, which I forget what it's called. That also is mysterious. They just have code names. They're not they're just working titles. Underdog, that's it. So they acquired those things. Now, that's important, which you might not think that's important because you haven't heard of these projects. That's important because Patrice Desilet's was the creative director on all of the Assassin's Creed games up to Revelations. And then he actually left Ubisoft, citing publicly bashing them, he did not like being there. And in fact, now, despite the fact that they're buying these projects up, Ubisoft is voicing uncertainty of whether or not Desilet's will actually return. So they might have just bought those projects to fuck him over and steal the games so that he didn't do it.
Yeah, a lot of the time that's a good business call, though. Somebody publicly blasts you, and you know, first thing I want to do is fucking buy their product up and fuck them in the ass.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it just sucks for Patrice Desilet's to have managed to get out and then got roped back in.
Yeah, they keep pulling me back in.
Yeah, and there's a whole legal battle and whatever as well because of the non-compete clause, which is kind of all over. It's the judge was just fuck it, I don't even understand at this point because it's a non-compete clause with THQ for Ubisoft for Patrice Desilet's, but since Patrice Desilet's now owns THQ, or is now because Ubisoft now owns THQ, he's kind of competing with them, but not really. So it's so the judge is whatever, man, just throw it out. It doesn't apply. So there's that, and then the last bit that was bought off was Metro, the Metro series, and Saints Row. We're both going to are being bought up by Koch Media, which is Koch, not COKE, which would be hilarious. And Deep Silver, which Deep Silver, you might remember, is are the guys who make Dead Island. Who also,
good.
Yeah, who made the booby mods.
How are they going to market Saints Row? Just fucking patching giant ass dildos in the box?
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, that's what Saints Row 3 went. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Did they actually?
Seems like kind of an appropriate company to buy it up, honestly.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, actually, I would not I would have been interested to see if Gearbox were to buy up Saints Row. I would be kind of excited if Gearbox had bought up Saints Row. I think that would be cool.
Use the loot system from Borderlands and Saints Row.
Oh, that would be
electrified
awesome,
dildos.
I know that's a joke, but that would be awesome. If
Flaming fire dildo of awesome.
Yeah, that would be so cool if you get all different kinds of dildo launchers. Oh man, that'd be great. And the other last part of the THQ thing is that Virgil Games, which are the creators of Darksiders, had 0 bids and now does not exist anymore. So no more Darksiders. Yeah, Darksiders done. Apparently, Japanese action guru Platinum Games expressed interest, but no bids. So
that's
for the foreseeable future, no more Darksiders. Which I don't think the world is going to cry out in pain, but a few people are going to be upset.
Yeah,
it wasn't that good. I mean, it was a very average game. It wasn't bad at all.
It had good ideas, I think. It had some really good ideas.
But it still sucks to be them, though.
Yeah,
it does.
Sucks to be them. Yeah. That sucks to be the last kid picked in gym class for a lot. Well,
I mean that analogy doesn't really fit. That's the last kid to be picked, and then they also murdered him afterwards.
Yeah, well, is that not what happened in your gym class? You get murdered.
I remember little Bobby didn't get picked for kickball, and they kicked his ball.
Yeah, it was Hunger Game dodgeball.
Yeah,
we played with guns.
Well, the last
you could dodge a wrench, you can dodge a bullet.
I would kind of want to be the last kid picked because I'd imagine you get executed in a very nice manner as opposed to being shot multiple times.
No, you get tortured the most.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. That sucks.
You just have to prove you're good with
Hunger
guns,
Games.
and then you'll get picked first. But
Right,
anyway,
fair enough.
so we're
like
we're at like an
Hunger
hour and a half
Games
now,
dodge.
so I
Yeah.
think it's a good
Yeah.
time to get through
Lightning
the
round.
lightning round, because usually this takes a little while.
Lightning round.
Yes, the lightning round is here. I have collected a bunch of questions. Luckily, since we have a short amount of time, a lot of the questions don't really involve a lot of conversation. They're kind of silly questions, but I like that because those are my favorite kind of questions. So first question for everyone: what would your medieval knight name be?
Oh God.
Sir Liechtenstein of Liechtenstein land.
That's funny because Liechtenstein is actually a place.
Yeah, I know.
It's a pretty awesome place.
I wish I was creative enough.
I would be Sir Cam the Woman Ravager.
So you're a rapist.
No, I just
Ravager
ravaged them.
Yes.
No, that's what ravaging is. Ravaging is rape.
That's rape.
That's
Cam,
what rape
that's
is.
rape.
Yeah.
It's not rape necessarily, you know.
No, it is. That's by the definition of the word.
Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Necessarily
fine. My
rape.
name would be Sir Cam the Woman Ravager, but not rapist.
So you're just Cam. So Cam.
Ah,
right?
Sir Cam the Ravager, but not rapist. Welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems all of the women have vanished mysteriously from our humble home.
Yes, they are in my room, good king. Okay, so anyway, Rob?
Hashtag cam therapist. I don't know. I said Sir Poops a lot.
Okay, Sir Poops.
I think
a
it would be
lot.
fitting. Yeah, it'd be
Sir
fitting. I
Poops
mean,
a lot.
Except you don't see the. Never mind. I'm not even going to get into that.
I poop pretty frequently.
You poop frequently?
frequently.
I guess it's. Never mind. We're not going to get into this. Austin.
No.
And I poop a lot when I do it. Yeah.
I have nothing. I would just go for something gibberish at this point.
Actually,
Sir Mectin McSuckfaloop.
Serectin
There we go.
McSophaloop. That's not even a knight's name.
Yes. It is now.
Actually, I don't think you even have Sir there. You have a word that's different. Surrectum.
I like Faithy's name for my knight.
Yeah,
better.
I saw that,
Sir
yeah.
Cam the Consensual Ravager.
Yeah.
There you go. Hell yeah.
Yep.
All
That's
right.
great. Yeah.
So,
The consensual Ravager.
yep, that's my knight name right there. Anyway, next
There you
question: what fetishes does everyone take part in?
No. Next question.
Zen? Tiger fetish? Everyone. Okay, fine. New question. If you had to choose
not
if you
answering
had
this.
to choose a fetish, which one would you choose? Go.
Still not answering this.
Okay, I'll choose for
Woolless
you.
alpacas.
Wait, what'd you say, Rob?
Shorn alpacas.
Shorn alpacas. Okay.
Okay, question over.
No, Rob answered. That's all right. Okay,
Okay, fine.
that's all.
I
Move on.
choose for Austin. He gets goat fetish. All right.
I don't
Fine.
think you can do
I
that.
choose for Cam.
No,
kickball
I'm gonna
fetish.
choose my own. You didn't choose, and that's why you didn't get to choose your own. I get gold fetish.
Wow.
I
So
love
basically, what you're saying is that you
gold.
wanted King Midas to give you a hand job.
Yeah, basic. Well, I am King Midas. kind
Whoa.
of, except
Oh, okay. Well, there you
Would
go.
when I touch things, they
Would you
don't
want
turn
that though?
into gold,
Because
they
you would
just
no longer really have a
are
penis,
gold
though.
already. I only touch gold.
As Rob just left. Rob just
Rob's
left.
outta
Rob, no, he didn't get kicked. I think he just left. That was
Yeah,
that
no,
bad.
Rob did disconnect though, so that sucks. Zen, do you have a choice for your fetish, or do you want us to move on?
Something that's
Oh, sure. You ask Zen if we want to move.
You could have a jungle fetish.
a jungle. How does that even work?
I don't know. You just have to have sex in jungles.
Look, you've never been in a jungle. I can tell you that much. I'm saying.
Yeah, it would probably
Yeah,
you probably
you-
get bugs up your ass and stuff
I was
like
going to
that.
say, you're going to get eaten alive by mosquitoes and in some cases leeches.
Oh, jeez. Oh, you.
So leech
Yeah,
fetish.
leech
is what it
fetish.
is then.
God.
Zen chooses leech fetish. You know, you would have done well in the medieval
Amazonian
times
woman fetish.
if you have a leech fetish.
Good.
Anyway.
Yeah, you could be a
Okay.
doctor, yes.
Moving
So
on.
Austin, keep trying to add Rob back into the call. I will move on though to
I
keep
will-
this on a roll. If you guys were to make a video game, what would it be about? Zen?
What would I make a video game about? Far
Yeah.
Cry 3. No. I like exploration and like immersion. Those are the two things that I really value in video games. And I also like systems. Systems meaning just generally talking about gameplay systems that interact with each other. So it would probably be something like Minecraft.
Yeah, okay.
I don't really even know, and ironically, I don't even play Minecraft that much.
Yeah. Austin, if you were to make a video game, what would it be about?
See, I actually made a video talking about the video game that I want to make. To shorten that 40-minute video, though, it would be more along. It would be basically I want to say kind of Elder Scrollsy type game in combination with Zelda. But the main thing about that I would want to make it is an kind of unconventional that it would last a lot longer than most games today. A lot of people say that you can't have a game that's longer than like maximum 50 hours, but I would want to try and change that thought process.
Okay, Rob?
I would like to explain my game, but it would take a long time.
So just
basically,
give it
it would
nutshell.
be the game.
Wait, Rob, are you talking about the game that you explained to me that one time?
I've explained to you a couple games, but yeah, probably the one.
Yeah, let's leave that one for another time.
Imagine Don't Starve, where you have the permadeath and you have to worry about food and thirst and stuff. Except you don't have to micro it; it just naturally degenerates from your inventory. And in permadeath, and you live in a procedurally generated world that is almost infinitely large, similar to Minecraft. And procedurally generated everything. So it's all...
But Rob, procedural generation doesn't exist. Murph. Sorry. I had to be that guy.
Are you the Snarf, except you're Murph?
Murph.
Murph, there's no procedural generation, Murph. Yeah, but so, yeah, that would be the kind of thing. Actually, if I were to expand that concept, I would also say that there would be elements of a 4X game as well, because you could, like how I would want to do it is for you to start at any time period that you wanted in said world, and then build a civilization out of it, and then go walk around in that civilization if you really wanted to, because that's one thing that was really cool about SimCity 3, I think it was. That I wish they had expanded upon that premise, which is that you could just take a car and drive around your city. I thought that was really cool. And that's kind of the idea as well. So you could do 4X type things, or you could do it in the micro sets down on the field and whatever. So that kind of thing.
Okay,
would be awesome.
And if I were to make a game, I would I've actually had this idea in my head, not to make a game, but it's just kind of a game that I've always wanted to play. It's kind of like a mix between an action RPG and a management game where you're a pimp. And you basically have to manage. You have to manage all of your, tricks, but then the whole time you're getting like attacked by rival gangs and stuff like that, where like the rival gangs are like ninjas and dinosaurs and shit like that, and like cloud monsters.
It's pretty awesome.
I've always wanted to play that game, and I've never seen it. So if anybody knows a game similar to that, please, for the love of God, send it to me, because it's my dream game.
Welcome back to the mind of gambling. When we last left off.
But like it would be like an infinite amount of like you could play forever is the thing. Like you could become super powerful and there would still be gangs that could rival you that are just new and awesome. So, oh man.
And you need to get like rankings in the game, and the maximum ranking is final boss.
Yeah, but there's no maximum.
You
just get more and more powerful. Go on.
Faithy said Dildo Bats the RPG. I originally read it as Dildo Boats the RPG.
Yeah.
I think both of those should be made.
Hell yeah.
I think Dildo Boats needs to be made.
Ride the mighty Dildo Boat. Cross the 7 seas of urine.
Yep.
To the...
You like upgrade
looking
your Dildo
for
boat.
booty.
This is like, would you like to add a vein or a larger head to your dildo boat?
I'm glad we went to this place.
And larger
this
and
great.
Bigger ball sacks give like better control with your boat, like it acts as the rudder.
See, the ball sack's vibrating. That's what powers the boat.
Wait, hold on. I'm not particularly well learned on dildos, but do they have balls?
I don't know.
What would be the purpose of balls on a dildo?
These dildo boats do.
I think dildos have balls. I don't know. Do they? I'm pretty sure they do.
I don't know. I don't think so. Why? I don't see what the purpose of balls on a dildo would be.
To make it.
Well, we're not exactly the target market here.
Yeah, it's the realism.
That's a good
point.
very
specific.
Yeah.
It's the realism.
Yeah, we're definitely not the demographic, so.
I'm sure at least a few dildos out there have balls on them. I'm just saying. Let's move on to the next question because I have a lot.
Right.
Okay, so I think this one is relevant. How did Green die?
Well, as we mentioned in the pre-podcast, Green was actually in a battle to the death with his evil rival, Red, and it was very Dragon Ball Z style. The fitting end was that just as about Green was about to triumph. Words.
No, that didn't make sense.
Yeah, it didn't at all. He was about to throw his mighty brimstone attack, and he was charging it up, and he let it loose, and he thought it had struck Red in the chest and killed him, but in fact it was a clone Red, and Red was actually behind him, stabbed him right through the chest, and he died.
Long story short, Green died in a fire, is what I decide. Okay, so next question. If you had $1 billion, what would you do with it? Make it quick.
Live.
Okay, that's the worst answer you could have. You're living right now. Right? You wasted your answer, Rob.
I would buy a golden planet and never bring Cameron to it.
You fucking bastard, Zen.
Yep.
I would see if I can make some interest off of it. Yay, bombing interest!
I think I would buy a massive boat that has like a bunch of like little boats that can go get supplies and all that, and
Would it be a dildo boat?
It would be a dildo boat. It would be in the shape of a dildo, and it could
Nice.
fly too. There you go. That's what I would do with my.
So a
$1 billion.
dildo plane.
A dildo boat plane.
Dildo boat plane. Yes, that's
yes.
important. Is it
Dildo
also
boat plane.
is it also a dildo houseboat plane?
Yeah, well, yeah. I would.
It's actually
live
a dildo houseboat mansion plane.
It would be so big that it would, I would be able to live in it at all times.
So, Cam's dildo is so big he can live in it. Okay.
Yep,
Got it.
exactly. Yeah. Well, I mostly live in the balls because that's where I can have like a little underwater aquatic getaway. Like I can see all the sharks swimming next beside my dildo boat. Actually, we called it
because
dildo
the
houseboat
sharks
plane.
would be so interested.
It's actually now that we're getting deep into this. It's actually called the dildote. It's called the dildo.
The dildo.
I
can just see two sharks like swimming around the ocean. Like, is that giant penis up there?
Yeah.
Dude, I take your toilet. Let's go swim and see what's inside.
Honestly, I don't think the sharks would say that because they're not capable of communication.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly, it's telepathic shark talk, Rob. Get with the time.
Oh, I should have read up on my science-y shark knowledge.
Okay.
Science.
Before we get too deep into this, next question.
Pun intended.
No, Cam, we need to go deeper.
I think this is an important question. Why do you guys hate on Cam so often? He's lovely. I'll answer this question. They're not actually hating on me. I kind of ask for it, and it's my role in the group. And I'm willing to be that person to receive all that hate. I know we've answered this in the past, but it feels necessary to re-answer it every once in a while.
Shut
It's
the
true.
fuck up, Cameron.
Yeah, fuck you, you piece of shit.
Exactly.
Hope you die in a fire.
My question is, this is from some anonymous person I shouldn't have said this is from because I don't know who it was.
Cameron's question.
My question is, who would win in a
You
fight?
said it again.
This isn't my question. This is somebody, but this was... anyway, who would win in a fight? Cam with a snowball or a turtle with a strip of bacon taped on the back? What?
Obviously,
the
the turtle, yeah.
No, I think the bacon itself would do the...
That's a good point. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, I think you know what? I'm with Austin. I think the bacon would win.
Yeah.
Cam would just try to eat the bacon, choke on it, and die. That was the plan the whole time.
Yeah, I have fought several turtles in my life, and those assholes are tough motherfuckers. Seriously, though, one time I did come across a turtle, and it hissed at me, scared the shit out of me, and I ran away.
So I think you have your answer there.
Yeah.
Turtle wins.
Yeah.
That turtle didn't even have
gonna-
bacon. Imagine a turtle with bacon.
Yes, the bacon is the victor. All right. Cam, I have a question. How many years of gay school did you go for? None. 0. I never went to gay school. All right. Question over. How is living in Canada? Do you like America better? No, I don't like America better, but Canada is much more expensive. There you go.
You
Welcome back
totally
to
like America
Q&A
better.
with
Yes.
Cam.
Yeah, seriously. No, but
Yeah,
you
well, it's
totally
been-
like America better.
No, well, okay, I like America a little better because the alcohol is so much cheaper. But the thing is, I like, desolate places, like the forest. I guess not really
Yeah.
desolate, but,
Also, remember that Cameron does miss his mansion and his lake that he owns.
Yes,
and his jet
all
ski
that-
'cause
all
he was
that
really rich in Canada.
awesome rich stuff I had. Anyway,
Yep.
Pepsi or Coke, everyone?
Coke.
Pepsi? I don't know.
Yeah, I might have to go Pepsi.
I go Coke. I do like Coke a little better. Question. Okay, I'm gonna skip this one because then
I'm glad.
Answer.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm glad that you have to preface that by telling us it's a question.
No, I'm actually just reading the questions verbatim.
It's because Cam can't actually ask the question.
Yeah,
himself,
I think that's a good point. Yeah, it just has to make sure we know.
I'm reading the goddamn questions verbatim, you assholes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'll save that one for a little later because we've had a bunch of Cam questions in a row. What happened to Green? Actually, we already answered that. He died in a fire.
Jesus Christ.
Wow, you're bad at reading ahead.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
very
sorry.
Easy. You
I
just
pretty
read it
much
before
just
you read it.
copy-paste all the questions. Favorite pet, everyone?
I have a cockatoo.
In...
That's what we have. We've kept birds for quite a long time now, and the cockatoo is
Wait,
the only
do
one
you
left in
really?
life.
How have we never heard it?
Yeah, I was gonna
This is
say.
You
Wow.
can
How
actually
do you
hear it
record
in some of the videos. You can actually.
Really?
If you listen
Really?
carefully, you can hear him imitating the microwave because that's how he tries to get my attention. It's
It's like, your Hot Pocket's done, bro. Why don't you come get me?
Exactly. But what he means is
Wait
give
a
me
second.
tea now.
I never put a hot dog. Wait, hot pocket. Fuck.
A hot docket.
Hot
Maybe
dog.
that's what they should make. That's a new. Yeah, there you go. Hot Pockets. Come on, hit me up. Sponsorship. I'm ready.
Sponsored
Hot
by
dockets.
Hot dockets for realsies. All right.
Yep.
So many Cam questions here. Okay, I'll ask the two Cam questions back to back. Cam, will you be doing Pikmin 3?
Cam, will you be
I think-
doobie-doobie-doo?
I think that was the intro to
Um,
Scooby Doo.
No.
Cammy Doo.
Will you be doing
Hot
Pikmin
Pockets.
3? The answer is yes after I get through Pikmin 1 and 2, so it may be a while.
Well,
You're gonna get a Wii-
are
wait,
you
you
going
have
to
a
be
Wii
doing
U?
that? Because you actually need a capture card if you're going to do that.
Well, no, I will not be doing Pikmin 3.
Welcome back to Cameron. Didn't realize Pikmin 3 wasn't even out yet.
Yeah, I knew. No, I did know that, but it's going to take a while for me to get through Pikmin 1 and 2 anyway. Anyway, is your Golden
Which you
Planet
keep
hiring?
murdering all your Pikmin.
No, my Golden Planet is not hiring, though we are actually, enslaving prostitutes for the sex trade, so, you might get lucky.
Mm.
Everyone, what is the best class in PoE in your opinion?
I've only played one, so I can't answer that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm level
I
2,
think
so
the actual
I don't know.
answer is that they're all good.
I think,
And that
They're all the same. I mean, they're
yeah,
just,
basically.
but, you start in different places.
well, you
so,
do
I mean,
start with different attributes as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I don't mean they're all the same in a bad way. I mean that, like, you can build it however you want, so it's so fluid that, anything can be good.
yeah. I don't know. I guess if you had to choose a preferred class, then, like, to represent yourself. I like the witch the most so far because she actually has a zombie raising a spell, and so I don't know. I think that's the most badass of all of them, and she's like I always say the Lord of the Rings girl when I'm trying to explain her, but she's like the Ring girl, the girl from the Ring. And I feel like she's badass.
All right.
Zen, do you have a favorite?
I only played in the close beta, and I played a Marauder and a Duelist, and I think I like the Duelist better, but I don't remember why.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, when I was playing in the open beta weekend, I had a Marauder named Poopmaster Prime. I was not a fan.
Poopmaster Prime.
Yeah, I had to make sure everyone knew that was the main Poopmaster.
Good.
Yeah.
The best of all Poopmasters. All right.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just had this mental image of like an ab master, but a poop master helps you poop.
If you call now, we'll double your offer of the new Poop Master.
Prime.
Stick it in. Prime.
So,
Actually,
would you? Okay, this is to everyone. Would you consider doing a cooperative Let's Play of any game similar to CamX Rob, but with all of you?
No, we all hate each other. We only do this because.
I mean, yeah. If there's ever a convenient time for us all to get together, then I'm sure that is definitely a thing that we would.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, we were talking about whenever the fuck Starbound
Yeah.
comes out, we would all do that together.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna be doing that together.
We'd probably do Cube World as well whenever that fucking
Cube
comes out,
World.
which is gonna be never.
Okay, I need to look into that because I don't know much about it. Later on though, but after the podcast.
Cube World is very similar to that game that I had explained to you that I wanted to make. in that there's randomly generated everything and also randomly generated quests and stuff, and it's pretty cool.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, question, Cam, can you make a really stupid question for me and pretend I asked it? Okay, so, if everyone here was a sailor, what would your sailor greeting be? Mine would be, ahoy there, flatey.
Why? Why would that be? Why?
Flatey, because it's like a fillet, but you're a matey. You're like you're the prime part of the steak, but you're, shut up.
Oh, no, I still love the fact that Kim completely ruined the point of that by reading the actual thing out loud.
Okay, we're skipping that question now because
Yes, thank you.
that was ridiculous.
Thanks very much, yeah.
What do you think about J.J. Abrams being the director of the new Star Wars movie?
I've never watched it.
Wait, he's direct... No, he's not.
You didn't?
He's
Yeah,
not
he
directing
is.
the
He
Star
actually
Wars.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's...
When did
he's
that
directing
happen?
It. Like 2 or 3 days ago, 4 days ago.
Huh, because he did publicly say that he didn't want to do it.
Well, he's doing.
Huh. Well, one thing that you know what? I don't have a problem with it. I like J.J. Abrams. I liked Star Trek. I really, really, really desperately hope he doesn't make it into Lens Flare the movie too.
Oh my god.
I'll say that. But,
in a world
yeah.
where everything is blocked by the sun at a weird angle.
I did
where
that.
Cameras are really shitty and stare directly into lights.
I mixed up Star Wars and Star Trek again. God damn it.
No.
50% action, 50% light.
He, apparently, from what they're telling me, is that he is actually going to be directing Star Wars. So you didn't get confused.
Yeah, he's...
Anyway, it's really weird that there's going to be someone directing a Star Trek movie and the Star Wars movie. That's like blasphemy.
Not really blasphemy. It's kind of... if you think about it, who else? Who else? Really? Who else would?
Oh, there are loads.
There are loads, but
Cool.
but it's kind of cool that, you kind of take the
I would watch.
two best spaceships.
I would watch a Chris
Chris
Nolan.
Chris
Star
Nolan?
Wars?
Yeah.
I would watch a Chris Nolan anything, though.
Why
so
would-
that's not
what?
really fair.
You
Big
want to watch
Owie
a Chris
Bowen.
Nolan anything? Okay, Austin,
Yeah.
be quiet, all right? Just like, but Chris
Also,
Nolan?
maybe not David Fincher. He really wouldn't fit.
Oh, that is...
Hmm.
Oh. Why not Chris Nolan? I want to hear why you don't like Chris Nolan, Austin.
No, I said I would watch
Oh.
anything.
Oh, I thought you said you wouldn't.
God, I was so confused. I was like, I thought Christopher Nolan was a
Yeah,
good
no.
guy.
Yeah,
I totally heard
I was confused
wouldn't.
why you were like that too. Yeah.
No, I would watch anything Chris
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. You scared me for a second there, Austin. I was about to disown you. But,
Nolan. Yeah.
because I am your father.
No.
Slice off your hand, Austin. All right. Next question. Question for everyone. What game on Steam do you have the most hours in? Follow up. What do you think is your all-time game with the most hours in?
Dota for most of us.
Wait, hold on. Those two questions are the same.
All time, but he said Steam
they're
is
not.
one, and then the other one is like every game you've ever played. the most
Okay,
hours.
I see.
Yeah. So Dota for probably 3 out of 4 of us on Steam.
Yeah.
I have 300 hours in Fallout New Vegas, just to let you know.
Wow.
That's a
a
lot of
lot of
hours.
hours.
Yeah,
in
it's
that game.
and
That's a lot of.
most of it is mods. Fallout New Vegas is a fantastic mod scene. So
Yeah.
and on the PC.
Mods are great in those games.
yeah, so I would say that would be that, aside from the Binding of Isaac, of course.
Yeah, that would be number 2 on the Steam.
Yeah.
I don't want to say what I have the most hours in outside because it's kind of embarrassing. So.
World of Warcraft.
Please do now.
World of Warcraft. I already called it.
Ooh, it actually might. No, not it wasn't that originally, but that might actually be it. I don't remember how many. I think actually World of Warcraft was more. Yeah, you're right. Because it was like 30.
Wait, I want to. Oh no, it's
30.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was Modern Warfare 2.
Ha!
I had a month. I had a month and 3 days into Modern Warfare 2,
Fucking casual scum.
and I had about a month and a half into World of Warcraft. That's crazy. An entire month. It's just weird.
Yeah.
All gone.
Yeah.
I would have to say the most hours I've ever put into a game would have to be into Halo. Like the whole series, but probably if I had to choose one of the Halos, it would be Halo 2, I guess.
Oh, if you got the whole series, that'd be Halo for me too. I was only counting
Halo
individual
2,
games.
but my highest Steam game would probably be Dota.
Well, I'd have to say probably Dota as well on Steam. Second highest, obviously, Isaac. Third highest, I think I'm going to be in the same area as Austin. Because, yeah, both Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops multiplayer both have, like, over 100 hours. So, there's that. Yeah. Most played ever, though, it's a toss-up between 3. It's either the original Star Trek, the original StarCraft, that and Brood War, but you count them as the same. Maybe Warcraft 3, and but it's mostly between either StarCraft or Counter-Strike 1.6. So one of those two. I'd probably have to say, I don't know, StarCraft or 1.6. It would be hard to say between the two.
It's interesting. When I think about it, I've played Ocarina of Time so many times that I'm not sure how many hours I have into that game.
That's a good point. Yeah, I've played through that game many times.
That's what, like a 20 to 30 hour game at times?
Yeah, especially if you're going 100%. I mean, usually when I beat it, I think it's definitely not that long, like maybe 10 to 15 hours, if that.
Nah, it's at least 20.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah. I probably have a lot of hours in that, but still, I mean, I used to play so much 1.6 and StarCraft back in the day that, I don't know. Actually, if you wanted to tally up all of the Super Smash Brothers series, a lot of that as well. Excuse me. A lot of that as well. I played a lot of Super Smash Brothers. I don't know about you guys. Super Smash Brothers is the
I've played a lot of Melee, but I haven't played relatively any of Brawl, because I never had a Wii.
It's fun. It's the same basic idea. It's less esportsy, but still fun.
That's a good point. Someone mentioned RuneScape. I probably have a lot of hours into that, too.
Actually, that's Green's. I could answer for Green, and Green would say RuneScape.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, next question. How is Cam so cool in Final Boss? I don't know. It's just, I was born this way. Next question. Zen, how many tigers did you wrestle today?
None actually. None.
Wow.
I was wrestling a giraffe.
Oh, a giraffe. I heard they're more vicious.
Aren't you gonna miss your tiger quota for the day?
Well, no, I wanted to see what it would take to do a neck hole in a giraffe, and it turns out that's not as hard as you think.
Huh.
Yeah, well, for you at least. I mean.
Yeah, right. That's definitely.
Have you ever seen giraffes fight though? Actually, like on video.
Yeah, they swing their necks at each other.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
They use their necks as like wrecking balls.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Weird.
It's really stupid. Like that's got to be really a bad thing for your spine, I would imagine. But I mean, I don't think they could rear up, can they? Because of their necks being so long.
Yeah. What else would they fight with, Rob?
Well, I mean, I feel like if they reared up on their hind legs, they would just topple over. So I don't know.
It's funny, but they'd probably die if they did that.
Yeah, they probably would. Yeah.
I mean, you tip a cow over, you'd probably kill it.
Okay.
Yeah, you do kill
quick
that,
one.
which is very
What game
messed
are
up
guys
that you
most
Southerners
excited for,
do.
Zen?
Cow tipping.
What game am I most excited for? Oh my god. This year, probably the Binding of Isaac remake because like aside from that, there's not much I'm super excited for. We'll see how the year proceeds.
Okay. Rob just disconnected.
Yep, he was fed up. He was just, you reminded him of the game he was most excited for, and he just exploded.
Okay, good. And Austin?
Starbound. I think we've answered this question like
Starbound.
3 times,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm most probably, some game. I kind of take them as they come, so we'll see. A hot girl agrees to put on a swimsuit / bikini for you. What color do you prefer her in? Zen?
This is a serious answer. I really don't care.
Okay, Austin?
Infrared.
Infrared, so naked.
Well,
Naked, then.
The joke.
I think I would choose gold. Golden bikini. Question for Rob, but he is not here. Dick sizes, everyone. Dick sizes.
No.
Okay, mine is 8 miles long.
Oh. Well, if we're going by those measurements, no.
Zen?
I'm just thinking about what it would take to have an 8-mile long dick. You know, you're going to wrap it around your body so many times that whenever you have an erection, somebody better not be standing next to you because you'll kill them.
Yeah, just like impale them.
Whap!
Yeah, I've always pictured Zen's dick to be 8 light years long.
Light years.
Yeah, exactly. That is freaking long. Let's see here. Under what circumstances would you all turn gay and make an amazing sex stream? No circumstances. I don't think there would ever be a circumstance in which that would be a thing.
I don't know. Maybe a large amount of money.
Okay, where is Rob?
Yeah, where is Rob?
He's still. I'm ready for when he comes back online. I have the call button, but
okay. This is a question for Austin. Is your abusive father in jail yet?
Well, yeah. Where do you think Green is?
Oh yeah, true, true, yeah. And Zen was the one that put him there in jail.
Topical.
Did Cam cheat on Alpaca with a tiger? No, because Zen killed all the tigers too quickly for me to cheat on Rob. But I was going to.
Yeah.
Zen, have you ever been scared?
No.
Good answer.
Not once. Not even when you were a baby. Good. For all, what type of cellular devices do you carry?
Well, iOS, iPhone. I talked about that just now.
Filthy casual.
What do you have, Austin?
I have a Thunderbolt. It's an Android.
I have an iPhone as well.
Filthy
It's not casual to have an iPhone. It's just smart.
iPhones are the definition of
No,
casual.
they're not.
I am the resident.
Welcome back to let's hold back technology from the phone so we can put it in the next one business model.
Who cares? Anyway, it's just a freaking phone. All right, next. Who is your guys' favorite YouTuber, and who would you like to collaborate with?
Oh no.
Oh. I really, really enjoy Ego Raptor stuff.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. Hilarious.
He's really funny, and he really is. His more recent videos are really into the game design thing. I really like that.
I think. Yeah, Sen.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that all things aside, Jesse Cox.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. I think Jesse Cox is hilarious, and he's probably one of the funnier guys that kind of inspired me into making a YouTube channel. Aside from you guys, it was obviously you guys first, and then once Rob started linking me some Jesse Cox videos, it was just game over because it was hilarious.
Game over, man. Game over. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess a question for you two: would Cam still die if he had the wafer, nun's habit, and the nail? I don't know what those are, so.
I think you'd find a way. But basically that makes you invincible.
Rob is back.
You still have to press the button, but technically you're invincible.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I should try that out.
Welcome back, Robert.
Hey! I've returned.
Rob's back.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, quick, last couple of questions. Who's your favorite YouTuber, and who would you want to do a collaboration with?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, let me preface all of this by saying, fuck Time Warner and never get that company as your internet service provider. Favorite YouTubers? You know what? I'd have to say probably my top favorite guy, or the guy that I probably most respect on YouTube, would have to be Total Biscuit. Mostly because I want to emulate him eventually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like I said, I think I've mentioned this before. I kind of started doing YouTube because I saw that... I actually firstly started because I was watching Northernlion and I was like, I like this guy. We're very similar. I should do this too. And then, but then also I wanted to get a job in gaming journalism, and then I saw that there's this ridiculously stupid, complex system of how to do it. Like, because Kotaku was in New York, so I was like, oh well, fuck it, I'll try to go get an internship at Kotaku. Turns out you need like a master's in journalism.
What?
So you have to go through. Yeah, well, you need well, maybe not a master's, but maybe some kind of degree in journalism or something.
Yeah.
Journalism and writing, and then you go for a 1-year unpaid internship, and then
bullshit.
after all of that, you maybe get a job as like some copy editor or some like bullshit grunt. And it's like, why would I ever? What if that's the way into the industry? Then fuck that. I'm just gonna make my own way.
You're smarter than most, I have to say.
Yeah. So I gave up on that idea, and I would hope to be very similar to TB one day. That's my goal, anyway.
All right.
Okay. I guess I will move on here. How have you been first world anarchists recently?
How have we been first world? I don't get that question.
How do you not get that question?
I ate oatmeal with salsa.
Oh shit!
Wow,
that's messed up, man.
Damn.
Well, there you go.
That's some fucked up shit.
Rob,
I actually recently saw this sign that said no. It said keep off grass, and I totally went on that fucking grass.
Today I was walking to the store, and the crosswalk had a hand, and I crossed anyway.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Man. Fuck that shit.
Wow, that's extreme.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, some serious shit.
Okay. Austin, do you still not get this, or do you want me to move on?
I get it now that we've been so satirical about it, but yeah, there was this actually this is true. There is a sign right next to our property that says you can't go here, and I've gone there multiple times.
Oh shit.
Yeah, first world anarchists for life.
I just pictured a sign with just the text "Don't go here."
That is actually really funny to me for some reason.
It is funny.
There actually is this sign. If you go in New York City and you go around to parks and stuff, there's this sign that just says. Now imagine how the sign is laid out. I don't know if I mentioned. I might have mentioned this in a podcast, but anyway, on the left-hand side it says "No" in big letters, and on the right-hand side it has a list. But when you read it, it doesn't look like a list because it says no bird feeding. No bike riding, pigeon feeding dogs. And it appears that it's saying dogs that can ride a bike and feed birds are not allowed here. I always picture that whenever I see that sign, and it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Okay, the next question is kind of strange. I guess I'll just ask it.
Oh, as if the other ones weren't.
Well, this one is just baby torso. So
what?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if that was even a question meant for the thing.
No, it probably wasn't. You're just picking everything with question mark.
Yeah, I think that was just someone confused when we said something about the torsos.
Anyway, if you were on a deserted island, which one would be eaten last?
What?
Me.
No, you would be first, no doubt. Like,
I think everyone agrees to say themselves.
They'll just disappear.
Yeah, Zen would just disappear into magic.
Actually, yeah, probably Zen. I would say Zen would be last,
the next question is surprisingly relevant. Can Zen disappear in a cloud of smoke?
Zen can actually become a cloud of smoke. If you did
Zen is also a shapeshifter. He can become a tiger. He's like Dracula. So he can become a cloud of smoke. He could become a tiger. Actually, Zen would murder us all. So
actually, kind of a funny thing. I was credited. I have been on TV before. This is a true story. I was on Lost.
Really? What? Were you actually?
No, that was a really obtuse joke. I mean, the fact of the matter, yes. But I'm dead seriously. I have been on TV before. I've been interviewed for the research I was doing. Which is one of the reasons I don't like to identify myself because people will know who I am within my field.
True.
Huh.
He literally owns a field, and you.
Yes, I literally own a field.
It's field of skulls. That's what he calls it. Is the field?
Yeah, the field of skulls.
I
saw you link that sign, by the way. I see it. That is hilarious.
Yeah. Right? Doesn't it look like no bike riding, pigeon feeding dogs? It turns out I'm not the only one who read it like that because I'm looking on Google image search, and they also have this right there. Which is pretty funny, which is just an image of a dog riding a bike and feeding pigeons. So I'm not the only one, I guess, who read it like that.
Okay, so
incredible.
Some good validation.
Here's a question for you, Rob, specifically. Have you had any interspecies relationships, or are you in one? Right now?
Well,
Hashtag CamXRob.
for the sake of politics, I don't like to talk about my interspecies sexual relationships. The Alpaca Council, I'll say they're a bit prejudiced. So I prefer not to comment on it.
Okay, all right. We
Publicly.
respect your decision.
Yeah.
Question for everyone: can you consult a horse and then turn into an airplane? All right, there you go. And that
That's
I was
the
the
sound
only,
Was that the
podcast
plane
crashing.
shooting a gun, or was that an angry horse?
that was the angry horse. He was getting involved in the fight.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, Zen,
Excited.
have you ever dismembered someone down to just a torso?
No, I have not.
All right. Well, that's the answer to that question. Got it. That's a wrap, boys.
All right, we only have 2 more questions. Second to last question. Out of curiosity, how many of you, if any, have the Mama's Boy Isaac achievement? I don't know what that is.
What is that? I also don't know.
Boy. I mean, I have all of the achievements because I have Platinum God. Yeah.
yo.
Yeah, I'm Platinum God, so I have to have all the achievements. So yes, I do. I don't know what it is.
It says complete the full game without taking damage.
Oh.
I guess.
Oh, is that a new one?
I don't
Oh,
know.
they're just kidding. They're just kidding around. I have no idea. Mama's boy equals no damage in the room. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no
Mama
damage
is
in the
damage
womb.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I got that. Yeah, for sure.
It says complete the full game without taking damage, but I don't know. Anyway.
No, Samuel. Samuel says you can get Platinum God without getting it. That is not true. They changed it in 1.48 where
You used to be able to.
Yeah, you used to be able to.
I originally got Platinum God when that wasn't the criteria, and then I got it again once it was criteria.
Yeah, I did not get it when it wasn't a criterion, actually, since we're talking about the singular.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah.
Final question?
Okay, and the final
Or the
question
Fennec
is,
question.
why don't you start up a new group channel?
Oh, I guess this is a fitting thing to end the thing on. It's interesting when you think group channel because
I don't think we've ever had this discussion, among us.
We've hinted at it, but we've never actually.
We talked about
in-depth.
something similar as far as Twitch is concerned, like a group streaming channel.
Yeah, like eventually we would move this podcast and all of our future streams onto that one Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't really discussed in depth whether or
Yeah,
not
Right.
the
we're
thing
going to
is,
do
so
that.
we don't
YouTube,
really
it's a
have a
little
real
different because
answer
that's
for
like
you.
way
Actually
more
have to
based
sit
on
and
like
talk
how many
about it.
views you get on each video, and plus it would be hard to kind of
Hello?
like split
Am I
up
still on?
the revenue if it ever did, start earning
God.
revenue. We would have to split it 5 ways. Oh
Yep,
God. Okay,
I
so
dropped-
right now I am streaming alone, everyone, because the call just totally dropped out. But yeah, it would just be difficult to stream or to split all the revenue 5 different ways. And Rob, are you there?
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
here.
the call totally dropped out, so I was like by myself.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But anyway,
Wait, is Austin there? Because that might be Austin. Yeah, Austin's gone. Austin's dead.
Anyway, yeah, that was Austin.
Also,
Austin was the host of the call.
Zen's not here either, so...
Yeah, we'll see. Zen will probably answer soon enough. But as I was saying, it would be difficult to split all the revenue 5 ways, and plus we would get, split views. And it's just easier to have individual YouTube channels and do like a group Twitch channel if we decide to do a group Twitch channel, because none of us really have established Twitch channels as of yet.
Yeah, and that being said, we don't really have established YouTube channels either.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
So, I mean,
True.
Zen's back.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No
I
problem.
don't know what
Alright.
happened there.
Austin actually dropped the call because he lost his internet or something. But anyway,
Yeah.
So it would just be kind of easier because none of us are really on the same schedule either way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that channel would probably.
Fady says the abusive father got him.
Yeah. The abusive father.
That's what happened. Austin's abusive father finally came back and is beating him up. Currently.
So.
He's drunken. Oh God.
Nope. Rob is dying.
Yeah, as the abusive father came in here. Father!
Yeah, we
He abused your father! He's German, so, I have to...
Speaking of German
Austin's
accent.
back. Call him. Yeah.
Good.
Call Austin.
Okay, we probably ought to end this soon then.
Yeah,
because
that was the
yeah,
last
because
question.
considering
So.
Internet is all dying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So,
a good
Austin is not back.
Oh, well.
Anyway, so...
well, should we end it
I was hoping that Austin would get back in time to end it, but maybe I'll just pretend to be Austin for the outro.
I am back,
Okay.
I think.
Oh, you are back,
there we
yes.
go. All right, cool.
My internet decided YOLO and exploded.
Good,
so
good.
You only like one.
everyone's having problems today.
So wait, its decision was instead of living, you only live once and it killed itself?
Yeah.
Well, I guess
That
since
makes
the internet lives multiple times, there would be a different acronym for it.
You only...
You always live always. Yalla.
You always live
Yalla.
always. All right, great.
You always live always.
Well, Rob, you want to play us out here?
Yeah. So that's been the We Need to Go Deeper podcast. I am Alpaca Patrol, and you can find me at youtube.com/Alpaca Patrol. Also Twitter @Alpaca Patrol. I recently got my new computer back, so I'm doing more videos as long as my internet can stay up. Obviously, you can tell my internet's a piece of fucking garbage, and was out for 2 days. So I've been trying to get out videos, but I have, Don't Starve, XCOM, CamX Rob now with Portal 2, and we're going to do Saints Row the Third on his channel. Yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. And what I will be doing. Also, I want to bring back Indie Spotlight, which I may be doing very shortly. I have to see what it is that I'm going to get. So, yeah, so it's going to be a fun time. Austin, why don't you tell us what your channel is all about?
Well, I am Less Gray Wolf or Wife, if you want to throw the I in there. In fact, you have to throw the I in there to get to the channel. But I am doing, all the good stuff, as well as live streaming every night at 7 p.m. Central Time. So, as
Zen
Green
fights
said,
are funny.
That's why I
right
was
as we're
laughing.
ending.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, live stream every night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time at my Twitch. In fact, we'll be streaming, I think, yes, we will be streaming right after this. I don't know which channel it'll be on, but we will be streaming right after this as well. So there's that. Yeah.
Zen?
Okay.
Next.
Okay,
Zen.
I'm Zen from Zen and Cyrene. I play Isaac and I play other oddball games like nowadays Scribblenauts and the strangest RPG you've ever played or never played. Great read. And I will say also that I'm trying to get Cyrene to record the Binding of Isaac soon because I really do need that because she promised herself that as soon as we get to 5,000 subscribers, I get to 5,000 subscribers, she will do it. So that might happen in the future.
Very nice.
That'd be interesting. Good to look forward to.
And
Yeah.
I am
Cam, you don't get an outro. So that's been the We Need to Go Deeper. But no, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
You ass. Okay, I am Cam from Currently Dancing Cam, and I do a bunch of. It's kind of a little pell-mell mix of videos that I just kind of like to do. Mostly it's of me failing. Some of it is of me learning. And I get a lot of hate on there, so come hate on me, and it's a lot of fun. Also, I think we should mention Green9090, whose channel we are hosting this on right now. Obviously, most of you probably are aware of him. YouTube.com/user/Green9090. He is a YouTuber.
Member. Well, in all likelihood, you may be watching this podcast on his channel. Or you might be watching it on mine. We're still not sure yet because we've never had a dropout yet. So
yeah, good job, Green.
Yeah, god damn it, Green. So we're gonna figure that out. And Dennis would like to know in the chat that everyone knows that he's in the chat. So yeah, this has been We Need to Go Deeper. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Yeah, Green, you do ruin everything. He's talking in chat, by the way. Green's not just a figment of my imagination that I'm speaking to in my head. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Yeah. This is not Alpaca Patrol signing out.
I know. I was gonna say it, and I was like, I can't. It's not me. All right, so see you guys next week. We do the podcast every week. You can watch us at twitch.tv/green9090 on Friday at 9:30 EST. And you could watch it on one of our channels. So be sure to watch out for that. Hope you guys join us next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next week.